juice like a snow cone. Ice in my veins and a cold flow. I'm getting cash overseas by the boatload. You wanna ride my wave? That's a no-go. Senoritas going loco. Make it bounce like a pogo. All my haters see rojo. They big mad cause they coming up short like Frodo. Activate the beast mode. I keep it hot, give your brain a heat stroke. You ain't a big shot, you some basic B-roll. The world is mine like my name's Pacino. Hey, it's Nico, I guess I'm back. Catch me in the fast lane on the right track. And my shorty is a 10 like a dime bag. Got me feeling like a millie, check the price tag.
Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip-hop, ain't no time for pit stops.
Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip-hop, cause my style.
No time for daydreams. All my brothers get money, we call it gang green. Just another day, but our focus still on the same thing. Us against everyone else, I recommend you change teams. Who the hottest in the city? We the top two. You say
I got the juice like a snow cone, ice in my veins and a cold flow. I'm getting cash overseas by the boatload. You wanna ride my wave? That's a no-go. Senoritas going loco, make it bounce like a pogo. All my haters see rojo, they big mad cause they coming up short like Frodo. Activate the beast mode, I keep it hot, give your brain a heat stroke. You ain't a big shot, you some basic B-roll. The world is mine like my name's Pacino. Hey, it's Nico, I guess I'm back. Catch me in the fast lane on the right track, and my shorty is a 10 like a dime bag. Got me feeling like a milli, check the price tag.
Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, ain't no time for pit stop.
Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, cause my style.
No time for daydreams. All my brothers get money, we call it gang green. Just another day, but our focus still on the same thing. Us against everyone else, I recommend you change teams. Who the hottest in the city? We the top two. You said your music was litty, but that is not true. Just being honest, you should really just stop, fool. Matter of fact, empty no pockets, give me that watch too. My mind is wicked, that's why I spit it so hostile. Freaky girls in the crib, it's like I live in a brothel. All I spit is Leviticus, but I'm not an apostle. My nuts hang low, long and they colossal. Black trader black, she messiah to the misfits. Run circles, run these rappers till my shit splits. You a little late to the party, baby, I been lit. If you ain't on the friend list, you better mind your business. Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, ain't no time for pit stop.
Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, cause my style. I got the juice like a snow cone, ice in my veins and a cold flow. I'm getting cash overseas by the boatload. You wanna ride my wave? That's a no-go. Senoritas going loco, make it bounce like a pogo. All my haters see rojo, they big mad cause they coming up short like Frodo. Activate the beast mode, I keep it hot, give your brain a heat stroke. You ain't a big shot, you some basic B-roll. The world is mine like my name's Pacino. Hey, it's Nico, I guess I'm back. Catch me in the fast lane on the right track, and my shorty is a 10 like a dime bag. Got me feeling like a milli, check the price tag.
Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, ain't no time for pit stop.
Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, cause my style.
No time for daydreams. All my brothers get money, we call it gang green. Just another day, but our focus still on the same thing. Us against everyone else, I recommend you change teams. Who the hottest in the city? We the top two. You said your music was litty, but that is not true. Just being honest, you should really just stop, fool. Matter of fact, empty no pockets, give me that watch too. My mind is wicked, that's why I spit it so hostile. Freaky girls in the crib, it's like I live in a brothel. All I Spit is Leviticus, but I'm not an apostle. My nuts hang low, long and they're colossal. Black trader black, she messiah to the misfits. Run circles, run these rappers to my shin splits. You a little late to the party, baby, I been lit. If you ain't on the friend list, you better mind your business. Ooh, got the party jumping like crisscross. Ooh, got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Ooh, pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, ain't no time for piss stops.
Ooh, got the party jumping like crisscross. Ooh, got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Ooh, pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip hop, cause my straw.
Guiding me through, just like a glimpse of light in the shimmering.
We are down to our top 4. Today, both former champions go head-to-head, and the winner will go straight to Sunday's grand final. Hello, and welcome to Day 7 of Game Changers Championship 2024, coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena in Berlin, Germany. I'm Mika Fabs on the desk today with Mitch and Mimi. I just realized we're making history right now because this has never happened before.
This desk?
This desk.
M
has
and
never
M and
happened
M.
before. Oh, triple M.
That's so
Yeah,
true.
This is the first time this is happening, so I'm really excited about this.
It's history in the making.
It is. We're gonna make.
Unlike the games today, which are all just repeats of what has happened before.
Actually, yeah, it does feel like deja vu when you take a look at the bracket and everything, right? Let's talk about what happened yesterday, actually, how we got here, because the Pacific region was up for elimination. I was sweating bullets backstage and everywhere just because this was so chaotic.
This was a brutal game to watch. If you're a fan of Zeta, which is a lot of people after how well they were playing this tournament. But I mean, SRN was out there looking like Shohei Ohtani playing in the Little League. It was unparalleled. Just a completely dominant win for MIBR.
Didn't get that reference at all, but I'm sure it made
Good
sense.
baseball player.
Okay, now I get it.
The best, some would say.
Sports.
It was tragic. You know, for me, part of the 8.6% of people that believed in Zeta on that run, it is a shame to see them go down. I think especially without a big fight at the end, right? They fell flat, but I think I look at that as MIBR being a big contestant in this tournament.
The
Yeah.
second series, though, was an absolute banger. And if you started that second map, it looked like Zipto was out of it. But it's Visa Crew Blaze, and unfortunately, they had their crumble and kind of disappeared out of the rest of that series. It was a really impressive comeback from that Pacific squad, and they've now at least earned themselves back-to-back top 4s, Mika.
And as a result of that, we now have this bracket which looks all too familiar, actually. We're seeing in our upper bracket right now, we see G2 take on Shopify Rebellion, and we're now seeing Sipto, the former SMG core, take on MIBR, which is also a Brazilian team. Where have we seen this happen before, Mimi?
I mean, literally the same as last year. The only difference, TL Brazil instead of MIBR, but it is an exact repeat of before. And even 2 years ago, back in Berlin, it was a different core with Mel and Alexis, but it was basically that same upper final as well.
Yeah, and again, you know, looking at how this upper final is set up right now, I think it's fair to say that Shopify, even in a stronger position than before, they're looking close to flawless coming in here. A couple of close maps here and there, but
Sure.
a scary contestant.
The thing is, though, that thus far, even though everyone has always expected these two cores, SR and G2, to clash in a final, it has never happened before. In the last 2 years, the team that lost this upper final was eliminated in the lower bracket and did not make it through. So I think this game is way more important than people might give it credence because the competition is quite close to G2 and Shopify.
You're saying there's a little bit of foreboding or foreshadowing going on here in this match, right? Very important indeed. And that brings us to today's MasterCard fan poll. We want to know which team is making a clean run to the grand final. Is it going to be G2 goes in, or is it going to be Shopify Rebellion? Scan the QR code on the screen to cast your vote. And you guys can tell us who you're rooting for with the hashtags of VCT Game Changers and VCT so that we can feature you on the show. I actually saw one of my tweets there earlier. That's a moment of pride for me there.
That was your big moment?
Yes.
I love that.
You know you're on the screen right now.
Yeah. No, but it's nothing like having your tweet featured on there on the stream. It's a different kind of high. Come on.
Be special.
Come on, come on. But anyway, after GCC ends, G2, Shopify, and other game changers will be heading to Los Angeles for the Spotlight Series Americas. Here is a sneak peek.
Moose is gonna stick this one.
There's that drop. Oh my God, Moose! Towards the front. Alexis trying to do everything on her own.
Grabbing himself a weapon now. A serious something around this right above it. Free for lead. A phenomenal round.
Oh my, 4 kills for Mimi. Mimi with the ace.
A vantagem aumenta. E agora só daí que sai Yuri!
But opening first is MIBR.
Coconut is just way too fast.
Buena por parte de Cobb que saca la doble. It's Oxy again. Oh my God.
I absolutely love when you get to see so many players kind of mix it up a bit and you get into different kinds of rosters, which is why here at GCC we've actually tasked the experts, Mimi and Mitch, to draft their own fantasy rosters and the very best of the best, I suppose, with you guys. There was only one rule, by the way. You can only pick one player per region, so you don't get to write just Shopify and oh, okay, I'm done.
That was my first idea.
Yeah, that's exactly why we had that rule.
And I'm pretty sure that's what I did last year.
Yeah,
so.
that is why we have that rule now, because you keep doing that, and I have told you several times not
this
to do
time
it.
I followed it though.
Okay.
I have a very honest team.
Thank you for following indeed. But you know what? Let's have Mitch up first for this. So if you'd like to present your roster.
Okay, well the first one is an easy pick. Are we going? Oh, we're going all the way through. I mean, obviously you've got to have Mad V. Mad V's coming in not as a specific role, but as a specific agent. I don't want to see anything but ISO.
Okay.
Fluorescent, one of the strongest players that we've got within the league. I think that's MVP before we even began this tournament in most people's minds, and for good reason. Serena, I mean, the story of Zeta, sitting on that stage in between the maps, dedicating herself to that aim training and bouncing back in a beautiful series. I think that's our Sentinel locked down. Then, of course, we've got Conir and Jelly rounding out the roster. Jelly's had a remarkable tournament. Obviously, he's going to be my support, and Conir has to be our smoke player. I think this is a pretty scary roster for anyone to take on. Maybe there'll be some translation issues, but other than that, I think it's
who's your
on the server. I don't know. In this, we can leave it open. Maybe Serena on a Cypher could take it, but I'd go with Conir.
And this guy was a GM?
No, an analyst.
An analyst. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, I see some superstars. I see Floor. I see Jelly. I'm happy about those choices. But I don't know if I saw enough of some of these other players to be fully sold. I think my team would crush this, Mika.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I absolutely love Serena. If you can see, by the way, I didn't notice that she has cat ears on her.
Yeah, she's too cool.
She is. But Serena's IGL, I can see the translation issues just come into full, rearing its ugly head here. So I don't know. good try, I would say, Mitch. But we'll see.
Thanks.
We'll see. I'm judging
That
him like,
sounded
okay.
so sincere,
That-
Mika, and I really believe
I'm like,
that you did a good
you
job.
did well,
Me too.
okay?
I
You
feel
did
proud.
Well. They're
Thank you.
there. But I mean, you do have floor here, which is already
was a
like
good
a
choice.
If
massive.
you don't have
massive
floor in
W.
yours, we're gonna have
I
a
have
serious
floor in mine.
conversation.
Okay, all right. Well, let's give the floor to Mimi, quite literally and figuratively.
This is my floor now?
Yes, this is my floor.
All right.
Take it home.
This is everybody's floor.
Here we go. Floor, Mimi, Kamiyu, Michaela, Jelly. I'm going to stand back up.
Okay,
And I'm going to
following you. I'm
explain.
way too
I'm not
scared.
70, I swear. I'm going to explain why this team crushes. First
Okay,
off, I don't
okay.
really need an explanation for Floor. She's fantastic. We need a real leader, someone who can also communicate with the rest of the team, which is Mimi. She has led G2 through so many different iterations, has been there since day one for that roster, and is also just an insane individual. Then we have Kamiyu. I mean, if you watched that game last night, you know how good Kamiyu is. Maybe I'm a little recency biased, but I really believe she's sick, a super skilled initiator player. Then we get our representative from LATAM, Michaela, has also had an outstanding tournament thus far. And you might be asking, that's a lot of initiator players, right? That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 initiator players? A lot of people would say that's too many initiators. I would say, Floor's on the team, don't care. Just
Okay,
neutral
yeah.
dump for her, it'll be fine. We round out the roster with Jelly. That was a wise pick, Mitch.
Thank you.
He's outstanding.
Are you saying your strategy is basically like 4 initiators and 1 duelist, and that's it?
Not
That's
just
how you
any
will.
duelist, though.
Floor.
Fluorescent.
Floor, yes. Floor is actually like a duelist, like in real life.
Yeah, she's. I wouldn't want to duel her.
No, absolutely not. But you know what? I'm actually on board with Mimi's roster.
Thank you.
I'm feeling this a lot more, and I want to say, Mitch, like I think it was a good try, but I just feel like yours was a bit too ambitious. Might need a little bit more time. Maybe like next Game Changers champs.
Like 2 years
Perhaps.
down the road.
Yeah. It needs a little bit more time to.
I'll try to get some
We're
orgs to
trying-
invest. I think we can buy out of contracts. We'll prove it on the server,
I've seen
all
the
right?
pitch deck. It's pretty good.
Listen, you got 5 top-tier players. Who needs an IGL? They'll lead themselves to
The
victory.
thing is, we're trying to win right now.
That's worked in the past.
It has.
But yeah, I have to give it to Mimi's roster here. I'm like, okay, 4 initiators, 1 duelist. I feel like we need that kind of chaos on Game Changers.
I heard floor initiators because my
Floor initiators.
yeah.
Floor pill.
I mean,
everything is. Floor.
I mean that could be the name of your strategy. Sure, why not? But
Love it.
right now we are going to
That's the
get
name of the
into
team. That's our floor
Floor
initiators,
initiators.
esports gaming LLC.
LLC. I love it. You have a plan. We're going to get into today's matchup and actually see how Floor is going to do with the rest of our players. Our upper bracket final. Once again, we've got NA versus EMEA. Is it really VCT without this rivalry? The last teams from the regions, by the way, it is G2 Gozen taking on Shopify Rebellion, and this is one that we've also seen quite a number of times here on the Game Changers Champ stage.
It is indeed. And look, being from EMEA, I'm not too happy about how things have gone in the past. NA, unlike in the early days of Valorant, they are having a field day with some of these rosters. And we always have faith in G2. Not only a long-standing roster going into many different esports, and obviously there's been iterations, there's been changes, even looking back at that last time that they faced off, the rosters have swapped it up. But the reality is, being from EMEA, we know that this team is always capable of pulling out a ridiculous performance, especially now looking at someone like Petra, who's just had game after game where your eyebrows are stuck to the top of your head. It's just a jaw-dropping performance. Again, though, the form that Shopify are on, it's not looking good. That history is going to change this time around.
I mean, thus far, it's been a pretty swift 2-0-2-0 for Shopify to get through this one, whereas G2 Gozen has dropped the first map in both of their series.
Yep.
But I think the biggest difference between these two teams, because they are so similar, the super teams from their respective regions, they have their 2 star duos that have been with the organization since basically the start of the team. But what's different is that this is now Shopify Rebellion's 2nd year as the top dog in North America. They're past that initial development phase. They're very much in the refining the craft, finding new ideas, getting ahead in the meta, doing all of this, where I think we've still seen G2 Gozen kind of finding themselves with the new players, having to bring 3 new members into the fold for this year. And for that reason, I feel like we've seen a Shopify who is just a bit further along in the development, and it's just looked so clean thus far this tournament.
And I think that's a great way to look at it. Realistically, when we talk about the potential of both of these teams, of both of these rosters, I don't think they're separated by a very wide margin. But like you say, time, sticking together, having that synergy is something that you can't just fabricate overnight. And for G2, that will be a challenge taking on Shopify, who are on form. And like you say, they dropped their first map on G2, but also some of those going to the third map. It's been like 13-11. A pistol could swing it either way, and that's not the kind of form that inspires you that they're going to be able to topple an on-form Shopify.
Well, I'm wondering what form they're in today. Ahead of today's rematch, Yinsu caught up with two of the GOATs, G2's Mimi and Shopify's Mel. Let's see what they have to say.
We have a generational matchup coming up today. I'm now joined by Mimi from G2 Gozen and Mel from Shopify. Now, you guys are two of the GOATs in our scene. You have a lot of history against each other as well. And I wanted to take this moment, you know, to get wholesome and ask you guys, what have you made of the other person's career in esports and what it is about them that makes you respect them as a competitor? I'll start with you, Mel.
I think obviously like her longevity, not just in Valorant, but across multiple games is like, it cannot be understated. But I think what's something that's actually really underrated about Mimi that doesn't really get brought up is like the level that she brings her players to that play like under her. I think she's really good at developing talent, and I think you can very clearly tell when people play under her, they get better. So she elevates the level of her region just by being there. And I feel like you can see that with Mary and Sarah, you know, coming to this event, but on different teams, but having played under Gozen before.
Mel, you never miss. You never miss. Now, Mimi, how do you follow that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can speak about the obvious with all her titles, but I think one thing for me that's really important is how all her current teammates, past teammates speak about her, how respected she is by them, and how much they admire her out of the server, but also on the server. And for me, that is what a great leader is, and you see that.
You two are both the best.
Cry. Can we just like talk to each other after this?
All right.
Just, like, Blaze, like...
I'm gonna let them have a moment. Thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, I love that. That is what Game Changers is about. And you really have to hand it to these two GOATs, right? You have two long-standing duos as well on these two teams going head-to-head. On one side, you have Mimi and Petra, and on the other side, you have Mel and Alexis, which are like basically powerhouse duos all throughout the Game Changers scene, Mimi.
Yeah, I mean, Mimi and Petra, they've been playing with each other since even before Valorant. Those two are very much entwined in their careers, but it's the same of Mel and Alexis. They've played every Game Changers event in North America and internationally since even before it was called Game Changers, and they've only ever lost 2 tournaments throughout that. To say they're the GOATs of NA is an absolute understatement. Those two are practically undefeated there.
Yeah, and I think at this point there's really an argument, and maybe this game and the next one could decide it, that they could be the best duo that we've seen internationally as well, the GOATs of the world. And look, both of these teams, both of these duos looking to do something that no one else has. Move through this upper final, take the final, and lift a second trophy in GCC.
What would be so interesting, the difference though, is that if G2 does it, it's, I think, all about Petra and Mimi, and the two of them doing it with a completely different roster
100%.
versus Mel and Alexis, who it would be about them running it back with Shopify and creating a dynasty, not just for the two of them, but for this specific Shopify roster. And I think that's even more important for Mel, because last year you saw in that shot, she had COVID. She wasn't with her team to lift that trophy on stage. She said in interviews that it didn't really feel like that win. It didn't feel like that big moment. Obviously it was special, but you're not there on stage. You don't get to lift the trophy with your team. So now I think this year means even more for her to try and lift that trophy again.
And it means so much more for the team as well, because they want that moment for her too. They want to be beside her. They want her on stage when that moment happens. The question is G2 gonna let it happen? Because this rivalry here, this is a match that could pretty much be our grand finals here, Mitch.
Yeah, and it's not just about that, right? You got to think about the fact that they're out for revenge, not just for themselves previously, but also for Falcons. We haven't seen much of the NA versus EU in the high-stakes matchups, but we've seen Falcons go down below and fall very quickly in that lower bracket. And it was Shopify that sent them there 2-0. Wasn't what we wanted in the EMEA region, and someone has got to draw blood back.
Yeah, but you have to hand it to G2. As you mentioned, Mimi, that Mimi and Petra are just like amazing here, and Petra in particular on their previous series had such an amazing game, especially on Sunset, where you actually have a particular spot where she is like so memorable that I think the community has like christened the Petra box at this point.
And as they should. I mean, Petra deserves it. She had a lights out game in that one, has just been incredible throughout this entire tournament. But it has really been about Petra and about Mimi for G2 thus far. I'm still waiting for some of those new players this year to step up and show us what they were doing regionally and not have to rely as much on Petra and that box.
There it is. That is the spot. It is now called Petra. You know how like teams kind of like name certain spots after certain pros? It's like Fnatic will say, oh, go plant Nats or something. And now we have Petra.
It's funny though, because there's only like one, at least in NA ranked, like one pro named spot in the common vernacular, Sub Rosa on Ascent.
Oh,
there's no other one right now to my knowledge, so it would be cool if this one could stick, because new box, so boring.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that looking at the value as well in some of the games that they've been having, they're dominating on Sunset, and it's not hard to see why. Eventually, you'd imagine people are going to start to figure out, good chance the Petra's behind that box. She'll have to stop playing that game, much like you brought up Nats, and that is something that happened to him. He had a very particular style, and eventually people started to realize, I think he's behind us, guys. It's like a playing in a pantomime.
Still, to my point, I want to see the other players from G2 show us what they were doing in EMEA. In particular for Rescue today, there's a high likelihood we're going to get a couple Neon maps in this pool, which means she's going to have to go up against Floor head-to-head. And thus far, I have not been anywhere near as impressed with Rescue's Neon compared to Floor, who is, I mean, a force in her own right on that agent.
Obviously, I always want to argue it back, being from EMEA, but I have to agree with you. I think that Rescue regionally, such a dominant player, such a scary one, but looking at what Fluorescent's been able to do here on the international stage, as well as all year long, I don't think the performance has been matching up to what we need to see if she's going to be able to push past that head-to-head.
Yeah, and I think that, Mimi, what you brought up about, you know, Shopify just sticking with their roster and, you know, having, basically, they're already clean. You know, they don't need to iron out anything. G2, though, maybe they still do, and we've been seeing that in their performance here on this stage, right? For Shopify, that hive mind is already, it's so ripe. It's 100% already.
The difference, though, for this roster, Shopify coming in, is that 2 years ago, when they came to this stage, when they played against G2, they were the same thing. A couple years into that, team so comfortable with everything about them that they got cocky, they got complacent, and then they lost this upper final. They went down to the lower bracket, and they got eliminated, not even making it into the top 2, which was a huge disappointment for Mel and Alexis. But you've seen how the players have changed since then, and how the demeanor for Shopify is so different from Cloud9 2 years ago. They're treating every opponent as a threat. They're confident, but they're not cocky in the way they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing you talk about 2 years ago, 1 year ago, G2 got a taste of that going down to the lower bracket and falling out. It really does seem to be a death sentence, and I expect history to change now. But again, with some of the matches we've seen, Crew pushing G2 all the way to a 13-11, these are scary situations because you're going to meet some of those teams like MIBR who've looked unbelievable. That Zeta game is a defining win for them.
And Zipto and MIBR got knocked down by the two teams in this match respectively. Both those games pretty close.
Very
there
close.
were opportunities. So it's not a sure thing that you make the finals if you lose this game. This is really important for these two squads.
Well, it sounds as though Mitch is saying that G2 are going to stay in the upper bracket, and earlier we actually spoke with Petra about G2's upper bracket run in this Omen player moment.
Hi, I'm Petra and I'm a player for G2 Gozen. I'm feeling very great after winning against MIBR. I was expecting a tough match, and after the first map I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the tough match. But it felt more dominant near the end than I was hoping for, even. So I'm very satisfied with what happened on stage. Yeah, Vanya and I had a pretty good day, and we sometimes joke about it. If one of us has a bad day, it's usually we both have a bad day. And if we have a good day, we're also together having a good day. So let's hope for a lot of good days.
And now she can tuck in that corner. It's going to be a real nuisance, low as they are to clear out. Amy's also starting to threaten. They know they've got two MRV players trapped inside showers, and there they will stay. Jubish from heaven will look to challenge us, at least try and get an update on the situation, but Amy does not let her get away.
I think Shopify is a pretty good team. They have good individuals, and especially Fluorescent. Fluorescent is one of the strongest players, and yeah, their micros are also good, so overall they have a good team play. I'm confident going into this match. I know we can beat them, and if we just believe in ourselves and do what we always do, play our game, we can win.
Okay, I'm all set. I think I like this flavor.
Let's
I'm all
go.
good.
What's the movie?
It's this really wonderful film that I've seen. Everybody has been calling it absolute cinema, so I think we should really watch this.
Like, what genre is it?
It's quite experimental. I just want you to experience it because it's something that you really have to see for yourself.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's get it going.
It's got great reviews all around. So,
Yeah?
Yeah. That's why. Oh, I think it's about to start. Is it about to start?
Turn off your
Quiet,
phone.
guys. Quiet.
What a shot. That's 60 millimeter.
This one's my favorite. Okay, you see that moment? Not scripted. That was not scripted at all.
Improv?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Guardian kills just like that. Is there anyone like her?
Absolutely not. Okay, this is the beauty of this piece of art. Okay, that one. Okay, that one was not supposed to happen, but it was just pure instinct. It was just pure instinct, and she just went for it.
I'm almost getting emotional about it.
It's
so powerful.
No one's
human
I understand.
reactions.
I understand.
I don't think someone's played like her before.
I don't think anyone will play like her again.
Wow.
It's just super inspirational, and I get really emotional just watching this because it's just so beautiful.
Absolute cinema.
I can't believe it. Oh, it's so good. See, I told you guys this was going to be so worth it, and people are actually saying that there's going to be a sequel.
There's going to be a sequel
there's-
already.
There's going to be a sequel to this because like everybody's wondering like, okay, G2 and Shopify, and I'm really curious like what the critics are going to say, what the reviews are going to say, because we can actually find that out in the results of our MasterCard fan poll. That is absolutely right. We have the results of our MasterCard fan poll right over here. Earlier, we asked you whether it's going to be G2 Gozen or Shopify heading over into our grand finals. The correct answer is yes, by the way. That is what you need to say.
I'm quite surprised that it's leaning towards G2 so heavily. I think at the moment, like we've discussed here on the desk, and I think the vibe tends to be leaning a little bit more towards Shopify Rebellion. Good form, a duo, coming back-to-back wins potentially as well. Hit me.
What time is it in North America right now?
Okay, fair call. I don't know the answer to that, but I understand the implication.
You would have the answer to that.
10 a.m. on the East Coast, 7 a.m. on the West Coast. You think gamers are up at 7 a.m.? The real ones are.
That's a good point.
The real ones
That is
are.
a very good point. That is a very good point. Also, it's like, hey, we just saw that. Do you want to watch more Floor of the Rings? Do you want to watch more of the Fantastic Four?
Goddamn trilogy.
Floriosa? No. We need more. We need more of that.
Oh, how long have you had those cashed up and ready to go?
I was so proud. I was so proud. Give that to me, guys.
It was cinema though. There is no player like Flora. I don't know how else you can talk about her besides to just watch those clips and just be in awe.
Absolutely. They went up against Zipto, and it's not easy to make a team like Zipto look like that. However, when you do have somebody like Flora in there, we keep talking about it just because she's such an integral part of how Shopify Rebellion actually pull out their strategies.
Yeah. I mean, she's just so important to the team, right? Like, you put her in any position, even if it's like a losing position, she's not perfectly set up. She can still make something of the rounds. And I think there's also a certain, like, fear factor around playing against Floor. She has an aura. You know what she's done to other players, that when she starts to roll, I think there is a real intimidation to that.
I feel it. She's already there, and it's like, I don't like the feeling of this when I was watching Zipto take her on, right? But we have to hear what Mel has to say about Shopify's win over Zipto in this Omen player moment.
I'm Mel, and I'm the IGL for Shopify Rebellion. Our expectations going to the match versus Zipto was to expect everything, expect every peak, don't be taken off guard or taken by surprise, because they are a team that can swing you and will swing you, and they can bail out rounds with mechanics if necessary. After our win versus Zipto, I'm feeling pretty good, pretty confident in my team. I think it was good that it was a 2-0, not sharing too many maps and too much info yet.
So nice underhand. Alexis outdone though. I'll tell you, a Neon with a Bucky, but how about Neuer with 3?
I'm really excited to face G2 Gozen. I mean, I remember I'd watch Petra and Mimi streams back in the day in CS actually.
My opinion on Mimi and Petra is that it takes a lot of skill and greatness to have the longevity that they've had, not just through Valorant, but in games before as well. But I think me and Lexi stand for the new gen and what's to come for Valorant.
I think what Mel said just really sums up the legacy that both of these teams are, looking to build, especially with a match like this. So important as the winner qualifies to the grand finals, right? They want to be able to say, like, hey, we're here to win this all. We are not dropping any single series here.
It is so cool to hear that too from Mel towards the end, that like these were the players that she was looking up to when they were competing in CS, and we're kind of the Mel and Alexis of that game. They've kept that legacy through Valorant and have had such an incredible staying power in Europe. But they've inspired this next generation of players who have come out and, well, gotten even better, beat them last year. And so for G2, I think winning this match, getting their revenge, especially being at home in Berlin, would mean so much to them.
Yeah, and I think a lack of travel and everything like that comes into it in an early tournament, but now they've been here for so long, I think that playing field is leveled a little bit. I am curious to see if there will be some sort of a home field advantage down there in the crowd, if they'll be behind both teams, as we've seen in many international events, or if this is going to be a G2-sided affair.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a factor, right? And I'm curious to see what everybody else says. So let's take a look at the predictions from the entire team over here. I think, okay, let me just check on behalf of Yinsu, I want to check everybody on the side of EMEA. And Kakuka? All right.
Yep.
All right.
Traitor. We have a traitor in our midst. It's disappointing to see. But
Am I crazy to say Shopify is the favorite?
I do agree with you.
I agree.
I think it's clear. At the same time in the EMEA, we have seen many times G2 look a little bit shaky and then come out swinging. This is their moment to do that. But I have to agree with you. The favorite should be, although the MasterCard fan poll disagrees, it should be Shopify. If
Shopify is playing in the form we've seen from the MAL tournament thus far, I have no doubt that they will win this game. They've made it through these first few games 4-0. Floor's been playing out of her mind. Mel's been calling a great game, but they crumbled here 2 years ago, and G2 always rises to these games.
You know what? We have no other choice. We have to get this show started. These two teams are going to write the next chapter in their legacy. It's G2 Goes In versus Shopify Rebellion. Game 7, Day 7 of Game Changers Championship 2024 starts right now.
Winning the first time last year, it felt like there was a burden off our backs.
Shopify Rebellion are Game Changers champions!
But now I feel like the weight is back on. We need to have our pedal to the gas, keep focused, keep dialing in, because it's going to be harder than ever.
Shopify in the final round of regulation. Tip the scales.
I've been in the scene for such a long time, and Mimi too. She's one of the biggest superstars in the Game Changers, and a lot of people are looking up to her.
I remember being 15 years old, looking up to Mimi, looking up to Petra, looking up to those teams, and always thinking, man, like maybe one day that could be me.
I'm excited to play Shopify Rebellion. I'm confident going into this match. I know we can beat them.
2 years ago, Lexi and I lost here at their home soil in the house of the Gozen. Last year we finally got them. This one's to settle the score.
Shopify, good luck.
G2 Gozen, this year, there's rebels in your house.
Last year, I ended up 4th place. My mindset this year was Sipto can make it to top 3. Very easy.
Sipto!
They locked in and ground out a tough victory.
Sentimento de estar de volta no jogo. Muitos falam que é muito difícil você ganhar o primeiro mundial no seu primeiro mundial. Acredito que se a gente seguir fazendo o nosso jogo, a gente vai conseguir alcançar o top 1.
There might be a systematic deconstruction of Zeta Division.
I think the most dangerous player is SRN, but of course me and NR are gonna be stronger.
Eu acredito que a SRN seja o melhor duelista do nosso campeonato. Quando a gente está muito conectada, acredito que nada pode parar. Estamos muito confiantes para enfrentar a Zipto. A gente tem muito conteúdo delas, então a gente vai saber onde qual gramado estamos pisando.
MIBR, be ready. We're gonna avenge our sisters in APAC.
It's a match that could very well be our grand finals. G2 versus Shopify Rebellion, two of the strongest teams, not just in this tournament, but on the global stage. You already have champions walking onto that stage as both teams have lifted the GCC trophy in the past. And the team that emerges victorious from this match is one step closer to doing it again. Who is it going to be this time around? That is the big question for this series.
That it is. And looking at this map, Vito, my biggest question going in is how many Neon maps were we going to see in the pool? The answer is 2. And for me, I feel like that is massively favorable to Shopify. They've been lights out on Haven. They've been strong on Sunset as well. I think that's where Mel's mid-round calling and Fluorescent's individual performance is at its peak.
Starting on Abyss is very interesting as well. Not just a chance to see Vice, but also looking at the game up against Crew. G2 had ResQ dominating in duels on Abyss. And if we're talking about this, as we have Fluorescent up against her, it's going to be a big battle. So for ResQ, starting off on a map where she's already comfortable is a great first step in this series.
And I feel like G2 maybe have had a little bit more experience on Abyss than Shopify have.
Yeah,
not
for sure.
that, you know, not that exactly Shopify don't have anything up their sleeve, but it's just that in practice, G2 just has seen this more times.
I mean, they didn't even play it in Series 3 for Shopify. Last time they played this map, they were locking in a Vice comp, and Agent, we haven't seen it all this tournament, which is still kind of weird. How good are they actually going to be in competitive? So the Agent select is going to answer some big questions here.
And as we bring it up, indeed, it looks like both teams are playing safe for now. Perhaps not bringing up any of those cards just yet.
Yeah, going back to the boring comp for Shopify that they played before and just a straight-up mirror here.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. The aura from Fluorescent was impressive, but taking this to a more conventional space, it's also not been a map that they've been banning throughout the process here in GCC. Been happy to potentially have other teams pick it up against them or run it all the way to the last of the veto. So I know for Shopify, they're going to be comfortable, but for G2, I think this is an excellent start, and not least to mention that their final map of Sunset looks very strong.
In my mind, this is an absolute must-win for G2 goes in. If they drop this map, they're going into home territory for Shopify. But this is their arena. They won here 2 years ago, and this is their chance for revenge.
Our teams are set, and it's time for the first game of the day. Let's send it over to your casters. Here's Uber and Wyatt.
Thank you very much, Mikael. We are once again back here. It's an upper final between Shopify Rebellion and G2 goes in. A new chapter in this rivalry and awaiting the loser. A literal piranha pit there in that lower bracket. Something G2 fell afoul of last year.
Trying to right the wrongs are G2, and a very different trajectory that these two teams have took since the last time they met. Shopify, of course, they won last year in Sao Paulo. They have stuck together with this elite roster, and G2, feeling that dismay at their upset loss they suffered in that lower bracket, have made 3 changes since then. It's a new roster that they're going up against the juggernaut of Shopify with.
Into the pistol we go. It's going to be G2 starting on the defense side, and Amy in his characteristic setup spot here. Got to get eyes on floor early on. Already hear Sheriff ring out on the side behind them. Some of this utility cleared in with a shock down, but floor, what a quick strike! And Sarah gets involved as well. It's up to ResQ to hold it down from heaven, and she's done a job. 2 down to the Sheriff.
A lot of damage to Sarah as well. 1 flash to play with for Mimi. Could be used in tandem with the paranoia from Vanya as well as they try and get some space back into this site. Sheriff recovered for Mimi.
Through from Heaven, Neuer though is in issue. She's playing well back over towards Crow's Nest here, and Vania's going to try and get involved now. The shots are a little wayward though. And Sarah exits the round with 3.
We begin already. Fluorescent first blood, first round. By far, the statistical leader of this tournament at the moment, averaging 330 ACS up until this point. Obscene. First bullet headshot straight away.
And she is 16-5. First kill, first death in their win over Zipto.
Just mental stats, eclipsing even her performance from last year, where she dominated the competition.
330 ACS average. To put that in perspective, I think Rescue's best game saw her at, what, 285 CS? So we are seeing Floor well and truly above the curve here. Got a customary jump off the map, give G2, don't want to give up the weapons, orbs, you name it.
We don't get paid by the second. Nope. So, not mad at that. Not mad at that. Already, look at the buy here for G2. Rescue with the operator. That was the weapon that she dealt serious damage to Crew with in that recovery they had, that comeback late in that second half.
I'll find their cipher.
Obviously, without G2 being able to plant or to get any kill money, there's a little bit of an awkward armor situation. So that Outlaw actually has some play here. Now G2 are ready to play the game in earnest. Flash here over towards the A main side. That one-way set up by Vanya. Mimi able to play off of it here.
Early on, Neuer exploratory in mid, but regrouping with the team. It is a straightforward fast hit. They'll have to contend with 3 defenders, however.
Up on top of the boxes already. She's into the mix. Back at the site. Petra's able to find her there from security. Now going to back away up on tower as that is going to be smoked out. 2 players down for G2 though. Another good fast hit from SR, and Petra is picked off through the smoke.
At the moment, G2, they have no option but to save here. Rescue couldn't get involved in the action. Was posted up towards that B site with the operator. Shopify don't even know that that's on the field at the moment. And for the G2 fans' hopes in the next round, that weapon being concealed may offer opportunity for Rescue to still find an opening pick. Shopify, you know, perhaps a bit too willing to jump peek corners or jiggle, not knowing that that weapon is there.
But really straightforward, right? They defeat the one-way with a cloud burst that gets Floor in. She's able to updraft Tailwind onto the site. Really straightforward. Site kits with a jet, defeating that crosshair placement. Very cleanly done. G2 maintain the operator and a rifle into the next.
Nothing out of the ordinary, just the firepower from Shopify on display. It is Floor with another entry kill. Neuer actually got the first by just a half second there. I've been so excited to see more of Neuer in this tournament, Mitch. I know I've been speaking to you a lot about her when we were looking at this game, thinking about how it could go down, because heading into this, her performance in the regional North American Game Changer Stage 3 was her best ever. She left that with putting up 0.9 kills per round. Obscene stats for a Sentinel main, and the duo of her and Floor being in such a lethal current status is dangerous for G2.
Customary setups here for Neuer. She sets the spike cam up and gets a cyber cage to the upper causeway here in mid. Vanya going to be forced back here by this flash, but this is all pleasantries being exchanged. This is well within expected parameters for G2's controller.
Just a slower 1-1-3 open from Shopify on the anti-eco, waiting out any potential aggression. And the aggression is the riskiest it could possibly be. It's Rescue pushed up fully with the AWP shot. It just goes wide. Neuer, 2 first kills in a row.
That is so deflating as well. G2 getting nothing done on this map so far. Yeah, again, it's a round where you're pretty underarmed, but that was the operator committed to trying to dig out the cipher. Now SR start to look over the B side, licking their lips. Some of this util over on the side. One of the trips was just cleared. And the recon thrown down over there as well. There's an attempt for G2 to slow this down. Amy's going to have her wits about her, emerging from the smokes. Able to find just the one. This will be a post-fight with SR with 4 to play with. And none of those rifles left on G2. They'll have to recover the one at Heaven, but it's in an awkward spot.
Mimi's got that one recon ready to go out. That is going to trigger the retake. Here comes that 0 point as well in tandem.
Mimi has a rifle. Here they go. Mimi with the spray down finds Mel. Floor, though, holds her ground and receives Petra's swing. It's all up to Vanya here with nothing but a share of Floor. With the Tailwind actually gets taken down.
Nice teleport across. Might be able to recover a rifle here, but from this position, it is just so...
He's got to get out.
Damn near impossible to win a 1 versus 2. The surrender! You are joking!
5 points of hell for Vanya! That is not a situation you see the solo player win. Spike is planted at coast, time is short, double swing! Unreal!
It should not be winnable. Was just trying to finish my sentence about how that should be the case. Outrageous from Vanya. A player that has been so crucial to the success of G2. Such an intelligent player. SR double facing that as well. Mental.
Oh my. Do not forget whose house you're in, SR.
Absolutely mental. Was feeling a bit deflated for G2 as well. What a way to capture some lightning in a bottle. Start feeling good after not getting anything rolling up until that point.
But doesn't strike twice. G2 at least now have the weapons, the full buy to work with. Shopify, of course, at a decent run. Economically chilling. Okay, that Shock doesn't clear any of these trips. They're a little bit deeper on the A site now. It's going to be an Owl drone that heads on in. Floor, standard play. Up on the top of container. Both cloud bursts expended, and G2 only have players set up in tower here. None in security.
There was a double kill trip set up as well, but it was nullified by just the single shock dart. It's very straightforward from Shopify, but success getting onto the site. Full 5 versus 5 retake.
0 point's going to spot Floor out. She doesn't want to be on such an exposed angle now without access to her abilities, so backs up. Okay. Nalcoman going to be committed to the fight by Alexis here. This makes it a little bit harder for G2 to get in. And Floor is waiting. Rescue's also gotten in now. SR playing mostly, though, from main in a bit of a post-plant spray down position, so Rescue's got no choice but to go for this. But again, none of those abilities, no tailwind available. Mel with the spray down through the smoke. It's good at it. Amy's down to 8. Has to give away a position. It has to get out.
And no choice but to run. Fluorescent just playing forward on her lonesome. Finds 2. Average Floor round. The rest of the team biding their time in main, ready to just play around the dark cover.
Running into that
spam
null command
game.
in the post-part why it seems brutal for G2.
Absolutely. That momentum snatched away immediately. It is a very straightforward game plan at the moment from Shopify, but these A-site hits do look quite well drilled. And unfortunately, it was a G2 trying to just play off with a kill trip spine, maybe one spam kill while they're going in, and then have a 5v4 retake, but a single shock dart from Sarah removed both of those defensive utility pieces.
And it wasn't even the first shock dart that came through. The first one was for the close trips at A main. There weren't any there. Sarah was able to find them. When G2 2 players, yeah, they want to play off the trips, right? But they're both sat up in tower. Nobody on the site, no one anchored there, no one in security. The G2 fully forced into a retake from that point, and, well, Floor did 4 things.
Forced now onto a bad buy as well, aside from Amy, who has that hero rifle. Amy has been such a force in this tournament, really a standout for me. Has just been reliable for G2. When her sight is being hit, she will usually get you that 1, maybe 2. So consistent at getting that first duel win. When things have been tough for G2 when the games have gotten chaotic, she has been the bedrock. And on a map where Sentinel is as important as it is on Abyss, certainly looking to her to continue that performance that she's had up until this point in the tournament.
Alexis only with the stinger here.
I'll find them.
Bladestorm up for Floor. Might see that Vandal given over if there's an extra pair of hands to hold it, if Bladestorm becomes relevant. 10 assists for Alexis, by the way. Okay.
Right here.
That is the standard Alexis stat line, if we're being honest.
Cam cleared. Okay, playing a bit more forward in G2 towards A-main, at least trying to play around that orb, but they do secure it. It's Mimi getting 1 step closer to a null command, which would be great to stuff these fast attack side hits, but won't be online this round.
0 point for the reclear from Shopify Rebellion into A main, gathering up for the hit here. Again, a couple anchors to deal with. These hits have been so good. Can G2 really stop them on the bad buy?
Okay, Mimi's ready for this. Floor! Can she get there? Petra's able to avoid this!
Oh, that is hard work!
Floor is slowly gonna sink down! Meanwhile, though, Petra's been felled. Vani has to step forward in the dark cover, but it's gonna be Mel and Sarah that get there. Floor eventually has to give it up, but Amy will again be in the unenviable position of having a retake against SR. Okay, we slurped the silly sauce that round. That's fine.
G2 are really going to need to find a good timing window to stop this Shopify Rebellion A hit in the choke. Perhaps a well-timed 0 point from Mimi or the null command that she's going to have coming into this next round. The bread and butter of Shopify are these straight up hits. Their scaling is so precise.
And there's no side for util on that side. There's no risk of running into the trips. Amy's operating.
Playing right now. Holy
No, and that is the iconic Alexis Valorant. That real Discord kitten gameplay. All assists, floor go kill. That was the idea when this team was created. You have the two experienced vets, the duo in Alexis and Mel, setting up the talented young Fluorescent.
Is that not what G2 is looking for as well? To set Rescue up to be that player for them.
It absolutely is. Very analogous to the team building of Shopify.
She has 22 matches, I think, before she joins this G2 roster, right? Another extremely talented young player. It's just a matter of getting her online. It was here where Rescue popped off for G2 against Karun Blaze. Once she got an op in hand.
Here is this double face setup. Contact is going to be taken by Vanya, and then Rescue going to swing up top while the crosshairs are focused a bit too low. Floor already tagged. There's a swing out, not able to find it. Danger as she's tagged up, has to retreat.
She's going to go for it. Still, despite this, here comes the Hunter Sphere. Oh, Sarah gets a brace of two. Rescue and Vanya both perish to the Sova ultimate. Floor just had to disco dance out there in the middle of the B site.
G2 are really struggling in the First Blood game right now. It has been all Shopify. Floor or Noya, the two of them, deadly on these execs. Or in the case of Noya, picking up one of those lurks on one of the prior rounds, an aggressive maneuver from G2, and we're just into this situation that I feel like we've already seen many, many times, which is the last couple G2 players who were drifting towards mid or are anchoring the other site. They just have to save.
Amy has not been able to play the game. She has been rotating into site, which is definitely the Sentinel experience, right? But SR's utility jump, Sarah's utility jump, especially over onto the B site, was devastating for the embedded defenders of G2.
Amy can hear the horde of players trying to rip that gun out of her hands. They won't be able to sniff her out. The Shopify economy, obviously, after this string of rounds, out of control. 7K minimum for everyone. So they are going to hunt every rifle, every round. What a two-piece.
There's just no way to go.
What a two-piece. Hunter's Fury is just perfect.
And you just jump scared me.
In a position like that with a double face, G2 are simply playing to fight them in the choke, to stop them, to get the kills, but they right now are not hitting hard enough individually. The shots are not connecting in those situations.
Okay, we actually have a dark cover additionally committed to mid this round on top of the Cyber Cage placement. Mimi cannot play off of Vanya here. Vanya also can't clear that. I'm just going to keep her off the angle for the time. That's all. She's jump peeking to try and get back on it here with Rescue. Blades are at the ready.
Is this 1-3-1 setup for G2? Amy Hero rifle anchoring towards B.
SR know there was a recon just fired out at A main here. Mel sees everything that she has to. This definitely keeps SR confident in this push towards A and elsewhere. G2 don't know where to put themselves.
The teleport for Mel has those three in mid from G2 scrambling on the defense. As the hit comes in, here's that dash from Floor, this time into heaven. Bit of a variation.
Catchy with his out! Rescue's not ready for it! That is devastating! Petrolino! Okay, moving right along. It's Mimi with yet another one. And Mimi with three! Utter pandemonium on the A site! But as the smoke clears, clown noses or otherwise, it's G2 who emerges.
Gravity is the worst enemy of Shopify when it comes to the A site, evidently. Second time.
Just wants to keep him down, man.
Someone has taken a little fall off the map. Those shots for Mimi were outlandish. That adjustment up top.
Explain this to me like I'm an average slinky chatter.
You are joking. And that was after Shopify conditioning on these A execs with Floor doing that standard dash updraft onto the center box, this time into heaven through the dark cover. Mixing things up, looked like it was going to work to a T.
Explain that to me more like I'm a TMV chatter, but I'll take it. Either way, once again, SR with that 1-3-1 setup, this time actually really stepping in the mid, really looking to take up this position. Floor is playing so close.
Just playing off that dark cover. Standard trick to watch mid though from Amy. Passive information as Noya, for the first time, really adventuring through the vent towards A.
Oh, catch on Alexis here. Oh, she's not able to get away. Petra speculating there from Spawn's able to find one. But Floor is already the cat amongst the pigeons, and she's awful hungry. But the catch from Rescue absolutely flattens her. Noya backs off this now, realizes there's not much more to be done here, but B is open for the taking. Just the trio left here for SR. And Mel will play forward to receive the rotates.
Do not go airborne in the vicinity of Rescue. How does she keep getting away with that on this map? Petra on the swing. Shopify trying to get aggressive here, trying to fight forward. Noya!
They got Mimi, she does go down, but can be brought back. It's up to Mel here. Depressed on the side, recon the spot around. She has to back up, but Petra ends with 3. It all starts with that Hunter's Fury that lights up Alexis. G2 clawing back these rounds.
And more than a sign of life, they're feeling rejuvenated. Rescue certainly quiet so far. Makes her presence known with that little air shot no scope. So sick.
Floor thought she was slick.
That is a way to get the confidence up. Headshot, no less. That's crazy. Petra getting in the mix here as well has been a standout in the fragging department for G2 in this tournament.
She's been on Initiator, but has had the same average ACS as when she played Duelist last year.
It's just crazy. And she does play that Initiator like a Duelist at times, but when you're hitting the shots she does, you just can't be mad at that style, that confidence. Again, Noya prodding towards mid early.
Petra gets forward here and we'll clear that. No camera here for SR. Some trips to be cleared here, so Sarah's on deck now to do some janitorial work.
They're likely going to go for this one. Close and does break that initial trip.
Not the second
though, yeah.
Falls in though, already back in a tower, but Petra's ready for it this time. Look at G2 embedded on this A side, refusing to give an inch. Dark cover gives her some room to work with, but Mel has to emerge from one of her own. Petra's tucked up here in this corner and sees Sarah coming almost a mile off. And then it's just a bit of aim lapse for Petra.
G2 really have made the proper adjustment now. When Shopify are allowed into the site, we saw how excellent their scaling was, swinging off each other. Those timings were as tight as they get. So what is the adjustment from G2? Just don't let them do that at all. Fight them in the choke. Anchor those sites hard together.
Petra leaning over to put on her jacket. She has been ice cold. Look at this. This will commit. Also, that second trip never fully cleared. SR never really get up on that site.
Vanya gives such good dark covers for her team to play around, by the way. So effective. Such an intelligent player. Have really been blown away by her. She's not always the loudest because she doesn't play the game in a flashy way. The impact is immense, yet so understated.
She falls back. She doesn't step up to try and take these high-flying duels, does she, Wyatt? We saw this on Sunset in their previous series. Selfless player.
Absolutely.
Still able to get like 26 kills in regulation, of course, in that game, despite being selfless.
On
the most dependable on her birthday.
Nice little birthday gift.
One of the most dependable low econ players you could ask for. Does not require a setup from her teammates at all. Just a dream controller player to have on your roster.
And how to Shopify adjust out of this timeout? What does Effys have to offer the team? Clearly these straightforward hard A hits are not working. Perhaps they'll try to exploit the rotations in that way though, now that G2 are intending on really stacking, fighting some of these sites aggressively. Can attempt to manipulate that. They have another buy, their economy has just been so good, making it challenging as it could possibly be for G2.
And Amy's really been varying these trip locations on the A side, so Sarah's had to really use her noggin to try and clear them with these shocks. Slower start to this round here for SR. They know there's a good chance they're also running into the op. Rescue is maintained, so how do they avoid that? It's a pertinent question. Rescue's all the way pushed up on that big extremity, so that's dangerous for SR.
This time they have that two-player insertion onto A. They've left floor there, with Alexis ready to just swing off any contact. Well, they pressure towards mid, Noya making noise, trying to feign that they could be exploring forward, but look at how close Petra moves up on the minimap in mid right now, retaining good information from G2, allowing them to rotate towards A again. There are 3 players from G2 on A, prep for the hit.
There's going to be fighting mid. Noya wins it out. What she can do with this? She's going to go over towards tower, but then we're going to watch the side itself. Here's that null command thrown out, but Floor does not care. She's in there. Vanya here from the top of tower. Can't do anything either. She tries to peer in over the fight, and SR just walk up
30 seconds
and take
left.
what they want.
Noya really cracks the site open by dealing that death blow to Petra in mid and then presence through the vent. ResQ forced to save Shopify out of the timeout, winning that round. It's really just Noya finding that great entry and all of a sudden applying pressure to G2 from all angles that throws some serious disarray into the A stack.
Vanya was poised there to really disrupt what SR were doing. But because Amy so quickly, or Noya, excuse me, so quickly got up into tower from mid, there was no opportunity for that.
Yeah, all of a sudden that crossfire is just fully broken, right? Final round of the half, full buy for both sides. Up again for ResQ. There is that crucial kill and then the push into vents from Noya.
It's all there, man.
Once again, the rest of the team scaling forward. That flash comes in. Unfortunately, that was a team flash too from Mimi onto Vanny, which is really unfortunate. But even regardless, Noya's just ready there for the backstab. Perfectly executed.
It's too much pressure for Vanya to make something happen there.
Yeah, Shopify still doing really well with the first kills. Entire team gathered up at B. This 0 point going to catch Dobbs here. A lot of players.
Get out of my way!
No 0 point on ResQ, so she can get out of here. Okay, didn't have a tower room ready, but can back up behind the Cloudburst. Floor wants to try and chase, but ResQ gets out of sight. It's Mimi at Coast. Takes down the Jets. Only 3 left here for SR. It's gone horribly wrong for them over on this B side.
They haven't even been able to scale forward. They can't even attempt to trade this. The dark covers are now thrown down as well from Vanya to keep them safe. Slowed down now are Shopify in the mid round. No map control. Have to go exploring. Have to find an opening forward.
There's so much to re-clear. Mel just has to grit her teeth and swing that one. She has been allowed to get up mid. It's an annoying one way, which Mel probably has to disrespect too. She's just going for it, Wyatt.
No trips to deal with at the very least because Amy has been so focused on littering that A site with and just intuition, timing, experience.
Here.
And extra sensory perception on top of that.
Petra is just too locked in at this tournament.
What do you do about Vanya? She's big chilling, yep. Hold the angle with the operator. Mel at least able to get something here, but hit with the paranoia and forced her back away. Petra puts it to bed on the end of a Hunter's Fury.
G2 coming back into that half with some serious strength. All of a sudden, they went from not connecting a single shot to out of a timeout. Huge adjustment. ResQ hits that insane no-scope not long ago, and after that, really begins to feel it, pressing forward with the operator on that final round.
30 seconds
and some
left.
good adjustments to shut down those strong A execs from Shopify by just getting aggressive, fighting them in that choke as a team, finding kills together and with good crossfires. We've got a game on our hands. Was worried for a moment.
All right, close half it is. We've got Yinsu standing by with some of our co-streamers in the arena. So Yinsu, take it away.
Some Valorant royalty here streaming in the arena. It's not every day we get Coach Potatoes here on site. We've got Sliggy and Minnie here. And since, you know, you guys are known for your watch parties, your analysis, I thought I'd pick your brains a little bit. Because on a map like Abyss, we've seen teams that usually like to experiment, you know, Shopify running the Vice and so on. Now running this defaulted comp that everyone likes. So Sliggy, why is that?
I think when I look at Vice on this map, I think it's like a one and done. It can be antied pretty easy. Like the wall kind of protects you sometimes when you know where it is. So going back to the, I mean, this is the Ascent comp, right? That everyone runs on Ascent. We know how fluid it is, how many times it can be run, and just how many different strats you can run with this comp. So it's just better for these kind of tournaments when you're showing a lot of footage.
Is this the best comp on Abyss?
I'm yet to make a decision on that. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, this is a guy that ran no smokes once upon a time. So, and Minnie, looking ahead to the second half as well, it looked a little bit dicey, a little bit for G2. How can they pull this back on their attack side and make sure they bring this home?
I think the first thing is to remember that 5 rounds on defense of Abyss is more than enough. And then after that, as soon as Fluorescent gets the AWP, we need to avoid Fluorescent. So do the old avoid CNED strat with avoid Fluorescent, I think.
Okay, so find floor, run to the other side.
Run to the other side, 5-person hit that side. Let's go.
Okay, love that. And lastly, you said we there. You said we. Are you here to support G2 Gozen?
Yeah, because I like flaming them. So when they win, I can flame a little bit, you know? So. Yeah.
All right, G2 fans, how do we feel about that? Minnie is here to support G2. Sliggy, how about you?
I'm just here for the game. I want a third map. I'm always like this. I always want a third map.
I'm gonna have to put you on the spot here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say Shop's gonna win.
Oh, how do we feel about this? Shopify fans, Sliggy is backing Shopify. Okay, we'll find out in just a moment and see which one of these guys is right. Let's get back into the game.
Good to have the chance to explore some tactical nuance there with Sliggy and Minnie.
Yeah, two of the finest minds in Valorant really dispensing as much knowledge as they can. Very, very helpful.
Hope you all had your pen and papers ready for that one.
Simply avoid a floor.
Sometimes the simple trick is the best one. Here we go, second half of Abyss. Shopify with 2 rounds of surplus, but that second half of the first half for them, not great.
G2 are certainly known to play a slower style when it comes to attack. They've displayed that in this tournament.
Petra's our drone interrupted there as she is subjected to the 0 point of Alexis. Floor again in that customary little pinch spot there.
Alexis looking to get that 16th assist with a little pop flash for Floor. Takes a bit of damage from Petra.
What was that?
Just drops into an engagement, reckless, punished.
I think it's a misconception from Petra. She just does not expect there to be another there. Very exposed in that position. He's going to hurt you in an important round like this.
Lacking the recon now for a site exec will be painful to deal with. Rescue tries to find timing.
I respect it.
Diva shut down. Oh, what a shot from Amy. Sarah's just holding this angle, could get punished, doesn't, drops down, has a teammate now to crossfire with.
Paranoia might have hit Sarah there, but Neuer is also going to get hit by one herself. Amy's low. Sarah, 2 bullets in the chamber. She's going to need a couple more than that. Quick reload. Vanya is going to be held though by Mel. Nice little double stack here.
And look at that, just rotating into the dark cover together too as the rest of them flood in to punish the last, win out the round. And G2, that was a little bit reckless on the B sites to open things up. I'm not mad at Rescue trying to find a window to salvage that round by pushing up into this engagement, but just loses out the duel. Had you won that, the complexion of the round is flipped on its head. No questions asked.
Alexis so dependable there over on that B side. Despite 15 assists, she's able to get involved properly now.
Floor pushed up with the Outlaw, many glasses. Nice adjustment!
She gets away with that, unreal! Rescue's able to pursue, but Alexis can pick up the angle. Hey, okay.
Even on an anti-eco, just giving us something to get the heart pumping a little bit.
Definitely get the heart racing a little bit, just the lane correction there with the second shot from the Outlaw. Great connection, of course, no armor really here. And off we go. Yep, that's about it.
Standing.
Don't need to hand over any more orbs. And there you go, another round here for Shopify. Remember, both pistols won by them in this game. Gives them a huge little boost here now. It's a 4-round lead.
All of those bonus round guns were recovered as well. Neuer made her way over there to get the Outlaw. Throws it back to Fluorescent, who's
not the best round for it.
Top fragging in the server. 14 kills.
And now, of course, Fluorescent needs to be hitting the headshots.
They have Mel's respect.
I think she has to respect it.
Okay, into the buy round. All heavy armors for G2, so they're not susceptible to the one-shot of the Outlaw, which is positioned over on the B site. Drone getting cancelled by that 0 point from Alexis, who again just has his pop flash ready for Floor to maybe swing wide or off. But currently is just watching towards heaven where Petra is beginning. Flick shot! Just goes awry, forced to drop down.
These have to be headshots from Floor here. They should be happy with a bit of damage, but G2 unscathed, been able to push right up to the line of scrimmage on this B site. Alexis knows she's about to get some action. Reveals herself there, has to. Rescue's already pushed up on that left side. Either way, she's in trouble. Good pinch there from G2.
What a well-timed Molly, and in the middle of the map, Amy biding her time. And look at the response from SR. They're so concerned about where she could be. And just going to fall back. Play this a bit more passively.
There is Amy now emerging into the double face. Okay, 1 for 1. That's not bad for G2 on a round like this. Still 4 rifles to play with. Fluorescent, no real reason to maintain this weapon into the next round. See what she can get done with it. Mimi crouches into that one. Paranoia comes in, Floor trying to reposition behind that cloud burst. She has a crack at this. Ooh, she had a shot. Rescue is able to stop her in her tracks though, and now Mel on the late flank will fall.
Seeking to do damage, but shut down by Petra. I love that mid-round adaptation from G2 Gozen, slowing things down after that initial foray of gunfire coming in from the defenders. They contact into the site. The molly was perfectly timed to just rout Alexis. Ends up going straight into a couple crosshairs from the other side of that G2 push. Lovely stuff.
Amy was able to do so much through mid that round. SR though, of course, can buy.
Big action in mid. There's going to be a deep flash from Alexis as Floor deep past the smoke. Recon as well. Look at these abilities in succession, but it doesn't result in a kill.
Now Floor realizes I think she's done the best she can there in mid. Takes a chunk of damage. Now give up a lot of the map here. SR move back to spawn to try and give themselves decent leeway in terms of rotating these sites. It's a very embedded Neuer over here at 8.
That's the kind of play that G2 really never went for on defense. They never did something as proactive to kind of instill that fear in the mid player. Amy has to be weary when she's solo there that an early push like that could come.
I mean, SR don't want Amy trying to take liberties in that part of the map, so some conditioning early is important. There's that same molly. Looks like it quite hits there. Mel is unperturbed there, sitting behind those boxes. Petra makes her way in, knows there's a camera up to the right. Neuer has to get ready here from security, but there's a recon that needs to be cleared. Here's Sarah trying to light them up.
Neuer's actually tried to get back into the site right now, fighting off the cage, finds the first.
Okay, Vanya's able to trade it at least, but Sarah's still undetected here playing from tower. She knows heads are going to be swung in her direction though, but she takes the first clean off the shoulders. And there's Rescue and Vanya having to face this down. You cannot be letting Sarah get so much value there. 2 kills for the defender, and now it's up to Rescue. Spike in hand, sure, but 3 assailants to stave off. And there it is, Floor gets it over with real quick.
There will just simply never be an opportunity to plant the spike there. What confidence from Neuer to stay in. Sarah trying to fight from heaven, but can only spray through the dark cover. Things just get sloppy with the gunplay, man. That's really all it is. She's got to be dealt with faster. And Mimi was trying to go for that late flank in mid as well, and Mel had the awareness, heard that rotate. We're going to get the timeout called as G2 are in some serious danger at the end of this game.
This is an SR timeout here. Knowing that they've kind of...
That's an SR time?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've knocked G2's economy down. There might be a set play in the works here for round 18. Oh no, okay, it goes to timeout. We've had a correction there.
Never mind. Small correction. I was going to say that would be a crazy time for the timeout. Yeah, it is Gozen calling this. They're headed into this with an eco. They're going to have a bunch of sheriffs. Of critical note, though, is how close several of their players are getting to the ultimates. Crucially, it's the null command, the initiator ultimates, right? The null command and the Hunter's Fury. They're going to want to try to feed the orbs over to Petra and Mimi.
Dynamic duo, the one that has been the beating heart of G2 Gozen over many years. The 2 that have stuck together and had teams built around them time and time again. For the one purpose of a Game Changers Championship. They've had it before, they tasted that victory. 2023 was a bitter pill to swallow. This time, they'd love to avert having to subject themselves to either Zipto or MIBR in the lower bracket. They'd love a clean shot into the final.
They don't want to feel that pain that they suffered last year again. Shopify sent them to the lower bracket and they were dealt the death blow by Brazil. There is certainly potential for history to repeat itself. The form that we saw MIBR in, a dangerous prospect to lose here. You want to get into the finals.
Mel here, about to see a smoke being placed towards her, the one she's anticipating, and there's some pings around a potential trip location. What a stunner from Mel. She's solo in mid right now.
Just some awareness, but also why not go for the spray when you've got the Phantom through the dark cover?
Play off this at all. Okay, there's a ping. Amy blocks it down there for that long range, but Sarah's at least going to be there for the trade. She is low though.
Just feels the need to fall back. Here's that drop down for Petra, who's just trying to pre-fire. A little off angle.
So hard to rattle Sarah. She's ready for anything there.
This is scary for Shopify. G2 have a fair bit of map control, getting so deep in mid. SR looking to re-clear Sarah on the peak. That is
on the move.
So dangerous.
This is enough to keep Rescue interested. She knows that she can drive a wedge here between both halves of SR's defensive resources. Floor, getting ready here. There's a ping, there's the shot, Edge, 2 shots, 2 kills with the Outlaw. And now it's up to Rescue, will got away up mid. Very much into the cookie jar here and is dealt with Floor. Now has to go over to B, recover that spike.
This is so winnable, so winnable for Rescue. One of the new additions to G2, their most inexperienced player.
Alexis was so flush with utility here. Sarah's also got 2 shocks. So here's the molly to keep Rescue off this line, but instantly she reassumes it. This might catch SR off. The swing is perfect! And the young Turkish duelist comes alive when it really counts.
And that just feels like a repeat of history from that first half. The 1 versus 2 double spray down that Vanya had to keep them in the game, and now Rescue propelling them back into things with a broken economy. 1-to-1, the same situation. Sarah so low on HP there.
And it's a trip around the world for Rescue on that round. She goes all the way up mid. Watches the last 2 teammates of hers sort of get flattened by Floor and comes out with 3 kills for a beautiful MasterCard Thrifty.
And you mentioned it earlier, a player that had only competed in 22 matches before joining G2. Has never been on a stage like this in a game with this level of magnitude.
Petra not interrupted this time. There's no 0 point to stop that Aldrone. Neuer also loses her camera at B. So lights out a little bit here for SR, but the trips are still in place. That one there is an anti-jet trip that Petra will just limbo under. That's a lot of cyber cages.
A lot of defensive utility. Yeah, Shopify could really be rotating all the way back side towards Coast. Petra finds Noya on that exact rotation floor with the Blade Storm. Dangerous for G2.
It's wayward, it's haphazard though, Flora. Not able to take any kills with those. Alexis playing up close with the Sheriff here. There's an opportunity, a timing to be found. One is good. Rescue able to hold it down from Coast though with that op. Still no plant. Spike not yet down. Oh, Amy's all about it.
That's all right. G2J, they slow things down. They allow Shopify to flood in before overcommitting to the site. And they deal with the Shopify players with those superior weapons playing at that long range. Do not let Rescue get rolling with the operator on attack again. They were down against Crew earlier in this bracket. You felt like they were on the cusp of being dealt that upset loss straight away, but it was Rescue dropping 18 and 8 on their attack half to bring them over the finish line.
She's doing it again. 15 and 11 for Rescue, that operator has been the difference maker and is still in her hands. Floor playing close, looking for a timing off this. Yeah, Amy's just got too much to juggle there. The rest of the Hunter's Fury just used for reconnaissance purposes. Rescue considering a fast hit here, but at 0 point comes in. Her wings are clipped. Now has to play boots on the ground. Alexis is unsure which side of the container this swing is going to come from. Rescue's inching forward. Tailwind gone, of course. Mel going to sit here behind that dark cover. Eventually, though, that's going to be an issue. They need to find a way to force Rescue off this angle.
Yeah, G2, they are embedded in the site. Look at this position from Vanya in heaven. Will have to deal with the drone. She's going to have to go off in this position on her own. Dark cover to play with now. G2 fighting forward.
Jimmy's the shot. Rescue doesn't quite connect. Now the blades are out. She's going to try and go for it. Oh, somehow Alexis gets lucky there, but eventually Rescue claims her. Blades refreshed. Time to go again, but Mel gets it in. Vanya's still up there in tower. Petra holding it down from main. Floor gets in, but it's a 1v3. And not even Floor thinks that she has this.
There's just no way. Recovers the op, has to run, and G2 fighting forward with confidence, playing the crossfires in sight, not allowing SR an inch to get back in. They play to the win con when you've got the deficit in players.
Stopping power of that operator is definitely going to be relied upon for Shopify Rebellion in this next round because they've got not much else to buy up around it.
This really feels like the first time these past couple rounds in this game where Shopify are actually in economic danger. They've been in such control, especially that first half. The string of round wins they were on just meant they never had to eco. They were never in danger of that, which has made this such an uphill battle for G2. And finally now, at the critical stage of the game, they are breaking the economy of SR.
Wild to see what Petra gets to do with a bit of space. She's like a turret, sitting there in A main while the rest of G2 just push up for her. Definitely a wise timeout moment here. Null command pretty close here for Alexis. That's something to think about for round 21. Can the op of floor do a Olympia level amount of lifting this round?
Always strong danger is Fluorescent even on. I mean, it doesn't matter. Eco round, gun round, buy round, whatever. Fluorescent can always make something happen for SR. The top-rated player statistically right now in the tournament. By far, the stats are just outrageous.
I mean, 330 average ACS over the entirety of GCC. Absurd. It's just not reasonable.
We'll see if she can take this round over while the rest of the team are relegated to the Sheriffs.
G2 want to be quick about this one, apparently. There's Initiator ultimates now, though, going to be quite a few rounds away for them.
Early recon from Sarah is dealt with as both initiators stood towards that A site for the Shopify defense. There's going to be
awkward
from the attackers, but it looks like we're getting the patient G2 right now in this 1-1-3 default, keeping their eyes on the extremities on a potential mid-push, something that SR did do earlier in the half. They don't want to give anything away now. They're about to tie up the game. It's their map pick as well.
Down to a minute here. G2 have been meticulous in this round, but eventually they're going to have to wager something. This is going to be it here, I think, behind this 0 point. Rescue getting ready to emerge here from the dark cover. There are two players. Shopify Rebellion set up on this A site. It's Alexis embedded with the Sheriff.
Alexis alone, Sarah trying to get to Heaven. Rescue pressing
timing
forward.
Rescue pushing up. Okay, Alexis realized now she's going to be pinched on both sides, but Amy and Mimi open up the account. That'll be the A side under full control of G2 Gozen.
They bide their time, G2, to just the right moment to get into the site. There was that delay after the 0 point came out, and it just sent the Shopify defense scrambling. They didn't exactly know where to post up. Floor, though, wants to find a way back into this operator. Can't get the flick in time. Petra too fast with the reactions. And Rescue cleans up Noya. This duo have come to life. They are activated for G2.
And for Mel, she did at least get the operator, something that may be instrumental here. Surely Rescue gets a glimpse over there, down mid. Mel's about to have her hands full. There's one. Here's the reload. That's just too much. Eventually overwhelmed by G2, and now we have an even game. 10 apiece heading into the 21st.
Operator ripped out of Mel's hands is really unfortunate for that low economy Shopify. They can't afford it into this next round. It's going to be all rifles. Making it look effortless here are G2 on that A site hit. Rescue and Petra leading the way.
They took their time on that round. They knew the op was somewhere.
It's actually this operator that's been recovered and thrown over to Rescue. We've seen how much value she extracts with that on the attacking side. More difficult side to use it. She certainly doesn't make it look that way, though. Floor's pushed up, ready to play off of a deep pop flash that might be thrown by Alexis here.
She avoids a 0 point. I don't think there's a recon bolt going to be thrown that way.
So being queued up.
That's an opportunity to play off this. She emerges and Mimi crumbles. Still, the rest of the action for G2 headed over to the A side as the trips that are laying in their way, and a deep trip on this side as well by Noya.
SR not offering up a thing here in terms of kills, so they want to get back in. Yeah, they do. They want to anchor this. They are so proactive at getting back into these sites. It's Sarah and Noya.
Don't even need to see him to bring him down, Wyatt.
Take flight.
It's just Petra, who's been stunning this week. And has had a great Abyss as well. Up against 5, just as G2 really start to get their motors running. SR are going to be allowed a chance to re-establish their economy. Keep those weapons going.
May have timing that drone, but even still, as good as Petra is, this is just impossible. SR stabilizing,
flawless
back
round
in the
of
lead. And it's just a simple, aggressive play. They are mixing in so many more of those defensively than we saw G2 opt for. And at multiple points now, they've caught off players early round towards B. It's been Fluorescent. And just those little setups from Alexis. That is the driving force, really, of this team. It's the idea that the team was built around years ago. Just getting this superstar duelist, who at the time was rather untamed in their play, and setting her up with a picture-perfect utility from that experienced duo of Mel and Alexis. I mean, what is Alexis at in the assist now? I think it must be at least 20, right?
Yeah. All right, G2, of course, still with plenty to buy up here, but no operator this time for Rescue. Thinking about the longer game here as we are getting towards the end of regulation.
The economy for both teams is stable at the moment as well. No one in danger of getting ecoed because of this round. Okay. Yeah, they have been drawn on quite a big rotation. Sarah is droning out into the B site. You know, it is possible that G2 could be pushed up all the way there, but no, they are going through the vent. They are getting into the A site. Fluorescent is all the way over in A main.
This is the one part of the map that Shopify Rebellion were not set up to hold, but they're second-guessing themselves.
G2 have an immense amount of map control. They're pressed up to the trip. They might catch a rotate here.
Okay, there was a dark cover at B right there. I don't think SR have any idea what's going on.
Great double face.
They're going to get through. Noya now is going to be next up to deal with this. She opts off it with the paranoia in play. Corner's going to be checked by Petra, but Noya holds it down! Now G2 scrabbling. Amy and Mimi need to put this together, but the spike's going to be out in the open. Alexis knows Mimi will challenge this. But is she ready for the timing? Yes! And now it's up to Amy, who has just recovered the spike in a 1 versus 2.
That reaction time is so sharp. Dealing with Floor in this position is going to be a nightmare. 12 seconds on the clock. Wants to find one kill here because this crossfire is more than deadly.
Most important moment for Amy this tournament, potentially sees Alexis and recovers in time, but Floor has the crossfire set up. And SR emerged from that round pretty battered. But still victorious.
So chaotic in the mid round. G2 were in the walls. They were pressed up through vents all the way deep mid. And amongst all of that chaos, disarray in terms of the positioning, Shopify are still able to retain a semblance of control. Floor rotated around the map wonderfully there.
This is gonna be.
It's a tough break there for G2 now. They have to play for overtime. Still not for Floor here and only half armor on Mimi.
They've still got that full buy. It's Mimi though with the null command. That is more than enough to claim an attacking round.
1-4-0 set up here for G2.
And notice because of that null command, look at Noya's positioning. She is so far away from her trip setup on B right now, so she won't get pinged by the range of the null command, won't have her utility shut down.
This, of course, does require you to give up a bit of that mid-map control.
This is a good setup right now from SR. I like this a lot. They have the op controlling A main. They have those trips not in danger of being deactivated towards B, where they have this crossfire set up between that core duo that's been competing together since the beginning of Valorant. Alexis and Mel trying to close out this game.
Here they come. Malcolm are going to be thrown in. The trips are going to be an issue, but Rescue's up on top of the container. Finds one. Mel, though, with the Phantom from below. And this timing might be perfect. Petra's not going to be ready for this at all. Chalk up another one for Mel. Now over to Coast. Trip did catch Mimi, but she's able to respond and find the kill. Sarah doesn't wait for reinforcements, instead wants to go for this anyway, and almost takes Vanya down. 2 HP left on the Omen, and she's TPing out of there.
And in the meantime, Amy in mid, now rotating over towards A. Mimi is caught though by Noya. We're down into the 2v2. Neural Theft has been activated. How do G2 opt to play this? Vanya has no health to work with. Amy is going to have to step up in this situation. They have separated from each other entirely. This is cheeky from Vanya. Sat in her own dark cover.
G2 didn't have the time to set up because of that neural theft into these post-plant spots.
Floor only with an operator, by the way.
He's ready for this. 2 health and a dream and a headshot. This leaves it all up to Floor. And she's off the map. Are you kidding me?
It is Shopify's worst enemy. Gravity comes back for a third. That's 3 on the scoreboard for the map, and they're all against Shopify. A sad drift to hell. Floor.
To quote a particular med school dropout, may an eagle pluck out my eyes.
Oh, no, no, no. At least the op was saved, I suppose. Floor did end up dying. You are joking, man. You are kidding me.
Well, those that hate winning maps in Valorant, rejoice. It's devastating. We gotta move on. We gotta move on from it.
Perhaps, you know, if they didn't show, the laugh, tactical maybe, tough Crossfire only had an op, ends up saving it. Tactical decision from Floor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, and here's that same play with the recon with the flash D, but this time it does catch Amy. Didn't work the first, but Floor capitalizes. The second time they go for that early round play. Immediate response from G2. Do they try to get into A off the back of this? They do. Rescue into heaven.
Oh, I love that. 0 point's going to force her off that angle. Tower still held by SR for the time being. Petra wants a bit of damage. Gets a tickle on Alexis here as Sarah just gets out of the dark cover. There is a ping, of course, on the Sova playing close there, but Petra's aware of it. She's willing to fight anyway. 4 versus 4. Inching forward onto the site now. Okay, flash drive thrown up. Barney might look to follow up on that briefly here, as looks like the plant will be interrupted, as it was only a fake anyway. 0 point for Mimi, sees 2.
So scary for G2 to try to find a timing to plant right now. It's off the dark cover cycle, that one-way drop from Vanya.
Paranoia. It's a big one. Okay, doesn't catch Rescue though, but she gets brought down on the corner. Petra, wild swing. Spray takes 1, takes 2, and Noya's gonna get there. She finds a couple of her own, and now Vanya, clutch queen, has it all to do. She TP's back to the side, but I think Noya knows it. She was aware, but she wasn't sharp enough. And Vanya bails G2 out again.
She's just too smart, man. Vanya is one of the most intelligent players in this tournament. The double teleport fake out. Unreal.
And Noya seems to be aware of it, but she has to be second guessing herself. Vanya could be anywhere there.
Not just the chaos of the moment, but the pressure of it in regard to the entire tournament. And G2 again stabilizing by slowing things down. So tough to find a moment there where they can plant safely. It comes when that dark cover is cycled from Vanya, placed into heaven. And then again, it just comes down to the gunplay, and there is no one better than Petra right now when it comes to the raw aim. Bar none, she is right there at the top echelon.
Suffice to say, we are getting more than we bargained for today on our first map of the series. At the end of regulation, we are in lockstep. And a timeout is called by G2 Gozen at the very start of overtime here. They're going to be on defense to begin with, clearly planning to try and take a swift 14-12 and get the heck out of Dodge before this gets out of hand, even more than it already is.
It is their map pick. Bear in mind that we head to Haven next, which has just been a go-to for Shopify forever. They love playing on that map. Couldn't ask for this series to be going any other way. The definition of big fight feel. What a banger.
What could be a preview of our Game Changers Grand Final. Well, either of these teams able to navigate the lower bracket right now, they seem to be the two best we've got here.
Where oddly enough, neither have actually faced each other. Neither of these teams have actually duked it out in the final of a GCC. It's always been here in the upper final. The two most iconic duos in GC. Petra and Mimi versus Mel and Alexis. Overtime on map 1.
Remember, G2 took a timeout before this. So what is the plan? Trips over on that B side. The smoke towards tower now, as Petra will look to simply augment their vision. In gets Floor.
Just a straight up hit. SR really just need to avoid the trip wires. Losing any players needlessly on entry.
They're gone. They cleared the trips wire. Floor now is free to start to press up to these extremities of the B site. Our drone, though, will be of importance. Floor looks to reposition behind the Cloudburst as a result of that. Paranoia whistles through, but Petra's a little bit too slow to follow up, and it all of SR grouped up behind that container. Sarah with eyes open for heaven, but that dark cover's a problem for her. She cannot see past that. Mel TP'd into it. She's waiting for this. I don't think they're ready for Mel at all, but Floor else was able to find 2. Mel gets hers over on tower, and SR lock it down.
That post-plant setup was fantastic from SR. You could just see that utility cascading one piece after another, multiple flashes from Alexis playing back towards Pillar that just stifled the effort to come back in, a Paranoia as well. That dark cover place from Mel, love that teleport up just to get a new position to play from, then alongside her teammates who are more steadfast in the site.
That stings. 3 G2 players trying to make their way through Link. Floor just disrupted them.
Blast cannon operator picked up by Floor. It sat over tower side on B at the moment. As we get a slow default from G2. Set up in the 2-1-2.
Data camera set up here, pretty normal trips too.
Look at how weary Amy is bottom mid right now, by the way. After being dispatched of by some of those aggressive Shopify utility combos earlier in the game.
The cam is quite deep onto the attacker side as well. Mel is looming. Hear this pull out of mid. Amy, careful not to make too much noise. Now the glass cannon operator of Floor becomes relevant.
Jiggling. Alexis with the 0 point, ready to throw that out, and Floor
Three
off now.
Floor is smoked off.
Can't swing out though, with the dash active.
Floor gets ahead of the smoke, but Rescue ruins her. Okay, Alexis falls back off this now, but not getting the chance to play for post-plant. G2 swarming all over this B site now. Mel suppressed up on the 0 point, but has to remain here on this side, and Rescue has enough time to wind a shot up, and Mel brings it down regardless. Now we're even. Sarah very low.
Really lacking in utility here as well. There's just one Molly for Mimi to work with.
You gotta have a crack. Sarah might here take the aggro and have Mel follow up on it. Amy gets off the angle. Good passive play. Amy repositioning brings down Sarah, but she was the low one. Mimi at 75 here. Dark cover is going to allow Mel to cross and get to coast properly. Paranoia thrown out, but that one way is a problem. Vanya's just too sharp for it. This will leave Mel now in a 1 versus 2 for the map. Mimi though shuts it down. And we're going to run it back again.
Huge credit to ResQ for finding the first kill off that floor swing in heaven. Prepared on the angle. A little bit, nice. You know, telegraphed. You can be prepared for that when you see the flash coming from Alexis. You know, likely that a swing could be coming from there, and deals with the op of floor, not even able to get a shot off in time. The reaction from ResQ. So good. When it comes to the Jet, she has been elite 2 times now on Abyss. Has really taken the game over, been the star for G2.
The glass cannon of Floor did not play out the way Shopify would have liked it to. Round 27 here. We have G2 back on defense.
Amy was able to place a pretty deep cam here over on B, which ResQ can try to swing off of. These were the kind of positions that G2 were struggling to get kills on when the game began. It's the reason that Shopify were able to get out to that early lead. They weren't fragging as well as they are now. But at this point, it feels like ResQ is certainly good enough for him to start getting kills defensively. I mean, does go down, lit up by Sarah. Floor on the dash up drive. Petra trying to get back in, but immediately traded out. It's the 4 versus 2. Spike planted by Alexis, and at this point, it should just be a textbook end to this.
Vanya and Mimi.
Cover going out.
After trying to find a way to put this together, it's pretty standard. Smoke on that B site would allow someone to get across, or at least imply the crossing of a defending player. Vanya's just so far away from the action here. Mimi essentially has to do it alone over at the B side, and well, she's brought down by Mel. Neuer waiting for the emergence of Vanya from mid.
Both teams just trading B hit for B hit, finding success. Displaying some real prowess at getting in the site. Didn't have to play a post plant there, but both sides have shown that they know how to set up effectively that recon. I mean, it simply just came down to that. It wasn't broken in time. ResQ didn't even have a chance to take a real fight, lit up behind the cage. Easy enough. Easy enough for SR.
SR, who, by the way, taking that round here, see fit to call a timeout. Fluorescent, 27 kills, 18 deaths here, leading the way by a healthy margin. I think there might be a question of whether or not they want to go for that strat again. Do they put a glass cannon op on the field, or is it rifle and armor for Floor?
And SR have been leaning into the op a lot, which obviously on this map, the sightlines are so long, the weapon thrives. But surprisingly, haven't gotten a ton of value out of it. It's honestly got more out of the Outlaw. I mean, a silly comparison to kind of make. It's just funny that Floor has gotten so many more kills with the Outlaw, I suppose, than the Op. You know, there's not a massive difference in how she's playing with it. It's just that G2 have done a fair job avoiding it, and on some of the rounds, it's just happenstance. Yep. You know, Floor just sets up on the wrong site. G2 simply do not go there.
You see that, like, teams knowing they're going up against an op, they don't even play B, maybe one. It's like a 0-1-4 sometimes.
As we're getting back into it, at least as of now, Floor has the glass cannon operator. They are going for it. was going to C2. Maybe Rescue wanted to go for the attacking op. She does that a ton. But no, it's going to be all rifles, all of G2 set up at B right now. Again, Alexis to contend with has been that consistent B anchor for SR. Her flashes have been so good at stopping pushes, setting up her teammates.
Can they anchor this? I don't know. I mean, it looked like they were setting up for retake. Rescue is in and catches Noya unawares. Yeah, Alexis completely overwhelmed there. Over towards the container, and SR with 3 now. We've seen this quite a few times. Have to find a way to retake.
And again, here's Flora with the wrong side. Oh my god, Sarah just cracks that open. No one to trade for Rescue. All of a sudden, they're getting back in. There's a chance.
Still no Heaven presence though here for SR. They're all coming out of Link for the time being because Mel is looking behind her. Sarah inches up now, a little bit further. Vanya with another dark cover. This could be a problem. The paranoia will go through. And as Petra dealing with Floor, it's just a lot to ask, I think, from SR, as now Mel would have to make it happen herself in a 1 versus 4. Not too shabby, but not close enough.
And at some point here, someone's got to start playing this Cypher retake. It's time to stop anchoring. The execs have just been so good from both sides that these anchors are having a tough time getting a single thing done, overwhelmed by util, forced out of the positions they're intending to play on because the initiator, a recon utility here is so effective.
Felt like SR also not too sure whether they wanted to pull off the site and play for retake there. Got caught in between. So we're back to even.
All attack rounds, no one has been able to win on defense in this OT. Early shot comes out from Petra, deals a bit of damage to Noya, who's set up that standard mid cam to gain passive info for the attackers.
She is catnipping 3 SR players right now, at least.
See Noya as well, she's placed that trip for a late A push out. Or, you know, if they do hit A, it obviously protects as well from anyone blanking late in the round down mid or from B.
Look at this lurk though.
Is sending up a drone towards B, dark cover towards Heaven. SR are saying, we're going to try to pressure towards B. It hasn't actually called any rotate of serious significance though. A main now taken by Shopify. They're ready for the split. Look at Noya's positioning on the map. She's in the bench. She's ready to explode out of there when the hit comes through main.
So one way that's going to keep Mimi off that angle. She has to respect it. Dark cover thrown here for the defenders. I need to try to clear. We're going to be pinged out by this, so it has to teleport, and here comes Floor. Right. So, upper tower taken over by SR, and Vanya's already fallen. Mimi just has to try and hold this corner, but the flash drive is going to catch her out. This is clean as it gets. Now Amy and Rescue, who are a long way from the action, need to dial in.
Spike planted.
Shopify have really displayed the depth of their playbook when it comes to this map. They've shown so many small variations of this A hit.
Oh, bro. Much to do about that one there. The null command, of course, committed because Alexis has had a heck of a round. And Amy has absolutely nothing to work with on the util front, just raw gunpowder. Anna Donlan intended.
Time not on her side either. Cleaned up by Floor.
That was
Shopify. Just another variation on the A hit, that time working Noya into mid. They re-clear A main pretty late.
Sarah's util usage as well there. I mean, that forces that awkward TP from Vanya.
And then it's
Sarah's so sick.
Floor just on that dash up draft into Heaven, which is causing a distraction for Noya to pop out as well from the vent.
Guys, and we're back. Okay.
And we're back.
I'll go crazy, bro. That's
And the G2 coaches, leaders, he's having a tough time. And I can't blame him.
Couple more maps to go, leaders, so hang in there, all right?
Okay, huge difference though from Shopify. They don't have the op this time, and Floor is pushed up all the way through A main. G2 in the meantime. The front of the forces, they are just trotting down mid. They're going to have to break this info trip. Sarah attempts to re-clear with the drone. It's fast to be split. We're in danger.
Backs out. Doesn't take this fight, however. Will there be help from Mel on the site? Doesn't look like it. Rescue's going to get the paranoia. Help. And follow up for the kill. Mel's just trying to stay out of sight right now. Trying to buy a little bit of time, but this is a precarious position to play from. Rescue ups to drop down in front of her. But it's all up to Floor. SR fall to pieces as they try and assemble some form of retake.
Both teams are just rifling through the strat books, finding any page they haven't opened yet, and using that execute. Something totally new from G2 on round 30 of the game.
Well, perpetually revealed here to G2. Would have to do the unthinkable to end the map there.
Now, at this point, if I'm on defense, all 5 players, we're in spawn. Let's just go for a full retake. I'm over anchoring at this point. It's not working for
so hard to do against
anyone.
This Sova util that both Petra and Sarah are expertly leveraging.
Such a cool hit. Just swarming all the way up through mid this time. With one player from G2, I believe that was Amy, just...
No one can win a defense side around Wyatt.
Leighton main. Not one. Not one from either team at the moment.
Well, here's round 31 coming at you, folks. Quite a lengthy overtime so far.
And there's dark covered deep mid placed from G2 this time, but not going for anything in the same vein of the aggression that SR displayed with some of those early dark covers when they placed them deep mid defensively.
Spike dropped. Right, we have shoulder picks here from Petra out on that A side, so she's maintaining current information about that extremity.
Alexis at a casual 26 assists at the moment.
Absolute role player for Shopify Rebellion. Here's the re-clear of A main, which doesn't really get that deep into it, but hope maybe is to keep Petra a little bit busy over there. SQ misses an opportunity. SR now thinking about that B side.
I must wait a moment.
Right. Amy gets the info with that deep cam that she placed. You can see G2 rotating towards the site.
Tick-tock.
3 players getting close. Amy's going to need to be steadfast in the back door over the top. That flash was perfect.
Hey, ResQ's head is just unleashed sheared off, and Petra now gets active over on the A side of the map, but it's going to be a trade. Floor very low, but that's never been an issue. She's got one more point of health than she needs.
Rotating back to A right now are SR. Vanya's getting onto the site in time. She's made miracles happen. Can this be another moment for her?
She's got a paranoia to play off of as well. If she can stick this together, it'll be unreal, but no opportunity. She checks it, and Mel checks her down.
Mel is just so ready right there. Was locked in on that angle, and Amy revealed 3 players facing her down, trying to reposition off the cage.
Too much to look at here, too much to work with.
Just no chance.
And the defense side boys continue for both G2 Gozen and Shopify Rebellion. Now, SR need to win that very, very scarce defense round to close the map out.
Honestly, surprised to see G2 not really going for an op on one of these rounds.
Spike down.
And at the moment, would love to see them stack one site really heavy with the anchors, op elsewhere. Or just play for mid aggressively and pure retake on either side. Just play for delay on A and B with your Sentinel, 1-3-1, and then go for the full retake.
Looks like the only people out there that aren't having fun are the coaches.
No, this is pure misery for Effie's in leader. G2, fast hit onto the A site, 0 point, won't catch a thing. SRK are all here, they are ready, Noya is flooding in.
She's perpetually lit up, and here's that defense side round that SR are looking for. And the House of Gozen is back on the market. The highest bidder, Shopify Rebellion.
We're headed to SR's map pick next of Haven. G2 showed some real ferocity coming back into that game. It started slow. ResQ picked things up. You know Petra is always going to be good for at least 20 as well. Some incredible play from both sides. Exactly what you want from this series.
Oh man, this
doesn't get better.
A barn burner already. Classic floor performance. Mel looking incredible, especially over towards that overtime. And Noya showed us some great Sentinel moments over the course of that map. We get to see ResQ also come alive a little bit. Leader looking frustrated there. We're going to step aside, but next, Mika Fabs and the analyst desk will break down map number 1.
Bro, like, I don't want to, like, say this, but I think Petra's the best player in the world.
No, I've been saying that.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it. Like, I don't want to say this because we're playing against her. But this might be the go. I mean, Sarah, we love you.
juice like a snow cone. Ice in my veins and a cold flow. I'm getting cash overseas by the boatload. You wanna ride my wave? That's a no-go. Senoritas going loco. Make it bounce like a pogo. All my haters see rojo. They big mad cause they coming up short like Frodo. Activate the beast mode. I keep it hot, give your brain a heat stroke. You ain't a big shot, you some basic B-roll. The world is mine, like my name's Pacino. Hey, it's Nico, I guess I'm back. Catch me in the fast lane on the right track. And my shorty is a 10 like a dime bag. Got me feeling like a milli, check the price tag. Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip-hop, ain't no time for pit stops. Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip-hop, cause my style. No time for daydreams. All my brothers get money, we call it gangrene. Just another day, but our focus still on the same thing. Us against everyone else, I recommend you change teams. Who the hottest in the city? We the top two. You said your music was litty, but that is not true. Just being honest, you should really just stop, fool. Matter of fact, empty no pockets, give me that watch too. My mind is wicked, that's why I spit it so hostile. Freaky girls in the crib, it's like I live in a brothel. All I spit is Leviticus, but I'm not an apostle. My nuts hang low, long and they colossal. Black trader black, she messiah to the misfits. Run circles, run these rappers to my shit splits. You a little late to the party, baby, I been lit. If you ain't on the friend list, you better mind your business. Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip-hop, ain't no time for pit stops. Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip-hop, cause my style. I got the juice like a snow cone. Ice in my veins and a cold flow. I'm getting cash overseas by the boatload. You wanna ride my wave? That's a no-go. Senoritas going loco. Make it bounce like a pogo. All my haters see rojo. They big mad cause they coming up short like Frodo. Activate the beast mode. I keep it hot, give your brain a heat stroke. You ain't a big shot, you some basic B-roll. The world is mine, like my name's Pacino. Hey, it's Nico, I guess I'm back. Catch me in the fast lane on the right track. And my shorty is a 10 like a dime bag. Got me feeling like a milli, check the price tag. Got the party jumping like crisscross. Got the gold chain and the wristwatch. Pull up on the scene like a big shot. EDM and hip-hop, ain't no time for pit stops. Got the party jumping like crisscross.
Now, Effies, I wanted to ask your reaction for when Floor accidentally fell off the map, because there was a world maybe if she didn't fall off the map, you wouldn't have to go to OT.
I thought it was actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Floor is actually, like, she looks very serious, but she's actually, like, a very funny person. Like, she just laughed it off instantly, and, like, the vibes are still good. She saved the op.
Oh, yeah, she did indeed. And going to that overtime, I believe that was the longest overtime we've ever seen here at GCC. What was your mindset like in that overtime, and why do you think you guys are the ones to be able to close that out?
Well, my mindset is, like, I'm always super nervous. So, like, whether it's, like, 13-1 or, like, 15-17 or something, I'm always, like, stressed. I'm always super stressed. I think we just had, like, a lot of good ideas, and then we knew how they were playing towards the end, so that's what helped us close it out.
I can't wait to see some of those more ideas on map 2. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we just had the longest overtime in Game Changers Champions history. It feels like we just saw an entire series, but that was just map 1.
That map was literally longer than the last series we had. MIBR versus Zeta, 29 rounds. This ended up something over 30. Absolutely ridiculous, Mitch.
It really is a game of attrition, a battle indeed. And look, when we started out today, we're talking about this being, to be honest, I could see a world where it could be a quick game for Shopify Rebellion, but in the hopes of most people at least, we're expecting a long game, and that first map has certainly delivered. The problem is, with the going Shopify Rebellion's way, I'm not so certain we'll get a full series out of this.
Yeah, and it just goes to show just how prepared both of these teams are for this series, for this kind of matchup that has so much on the line, right? And you know, all of these players also just had their moment. I would say, like, you know, even the players that maybe, of course you have Floor on one side, but everybody on Shopify Rebellion came alive, as well as on G2, everybody had their moments.
Yeah, everyone absolutely did. I wanted to pull up a little telestrator here, though, and talk about some of the post plants from Shopify, because you've heard of Bunset, you've heard of Burl. Get ready for Abyss, because Shopify Rebellion, no matter what map they're playing, they have a way that they like to play, which is the super cringe, spam-heavy off-site post plants. We start off this round, G2 is playing the very classic spam defense. You have a couple players in heaven, you're hoping to get something off your dart, but watch how Shopify is pathing into the site. They're committing pretty much every member here, Floor dashing in, you have all the util going in, but once they realize this site is open, they very quickly shift into their post plant setup. And as we watch the map, not even before that spike starts ticking, literally everyone is off the site except for Floor, who sticks around. The only reason Floor is here is just to buy time. If she gets kills, that's amazing, that's sick, but she doesn't even need to. All they're hoping she can do is buy some attention and pull resources from G2, and she's gonna do exactly that. Waits for the drone, gets spotted out here with that KO utility, and manages to get 2. But even if she hadn't, this has already set up Shopify in a winning position. They're actually going to smoke themselves off, and they do this on other maps as well, right? When you watch them play Sunset, they go B main, they smoke themselves off. You watch them play Pearl, they go B long, they smoke themselves off. They're always doing this because it's just so advantageous to play that spam when the time is on your side in the post plants. How do you beat this? The obvious answer is to fight through and try and go past these smokes, get something done. G2 attempts it, they get absolutely cooked in this round. But overall, it really has to force you to change how you play your retakes, because generally speaking, you want to be putting all your forces into the site, dumping a bunch of utility to just get back into that site. But when Shopify is playing like this, you waste so many resources, so much time, and then you're having to scramble to fight down long at the end. They're doing it in so many of their maps, and it's winning them so many attack side post plants.
It just forces you to make so many mistakes, and that's what's uncomfortable about a strategy like
it's
that,
also
right?
so cringe, by the way, to just, oh yeah, by Phantoms, we're gonna play 4 off site and spam through a smoke. But it's stupid good right now.
But the thing is, G2 do have comebacks for that. For example, we do have this Hyper X reflex moment, and this one goes to Mimi, which had, you know, everybody gasping here. Our jaws were on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is something you plan for, although you'll see some good components to it, like the paranoia that comes through to help on the second engagement. First shot, pure skill. Second, good reaction. And a little flick up top to put the real cherry on top. This is what I like to see from G2. And in this moment, I think this was a necessary play as well to give them that little bit of momentum to fire back into the map. And I think they really didn't lose sight of it either. Despite the fact they went down 6-1, we would still see things like ResQ getting hyper aggressive on B, maintaining a lot of control in an early round for their defense, allowing those rotations from the rest of the squad to go to the other side of the map where, as you said, Mimi, more often than not, the hit was coming in. And eventually when ResQ did face those challenges, she was hitting her shots. That's the more impressive thing, though, looking at the other side from Fluorescent. In those deep plays, the example we saw in the telestrator, there's no one there awaiting them, right? Those players are pushed back and they play the retake. And you start to wonder, are you still going to be able to deliver when it comes to 3 players on the site ready for you? And as we saw throughout this game, yes, she absolutely was ready for those plays.
It's so crazy because these two teams also know exactly what the other team is going to be doing. They know those tendencies, so they're just trying to out-mind game each other. And as we're seeing right now, our agent select on Haven. No surprises for either team, so it's going to boil down to that execution.
Yeah, it is a straight-up mirror match here. And Shopify, this has been their home territory for as long as you could remember. When they were Cloud9 White, this Mel and Alexis duo has always thrived here. And in the Neon meta, it's no different. This, for my money, has been their most dominant map, and G2 goes in, playing a mirror matchup against a floor on Neon, this is a really tough proposition.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for ResQ, and thinking back to the 13-8 loss they had against Crew, they didn't win any pistols there, though, so maybe it would have been a closer game. They're really going to be a tough game for ResQ, and thinking back to the 13-8.
Well, are we going to a map 3? We're going to find out as we send it back to your casters. Here's Uber and Wyatt.
What a way to set this game up, right? I think that's pretty succinctly put by our friends on the desk, with Abyss being unable to be won by G2. They've got to go to Haven, where SR look incredible, and where, frankly, ResQ would need a breakout game on Neon.
This is the first map that G2 actually played in this tournament against Crew, who displayed some seriously high-level Haven gameplay. All the way back then, actually played in this tournament against Crew, who displayed some seriously high-level Haven gameplay. We're not feeling those nerves anymore, though. In this tournament against Crew, who displayed some seriously high-level Haven gameplay. We're not feeling those nerves anymore, though. Looking off the this tournament against Crew, who displayed some seriously high-level Haven gameplay. We're not feeling those nerves anymore, though. Looking off this tournament against Crew, who displayed
It's making a little bit of noise, rattling the cage somewhat. We've got the cheat up from ResQ all the way at the top of A long.
Yeah, you've got Mimi taking contact here, and then ResQ going to fight off the distraction.
Zera, though, perfectly equipped to clear this. ResQ tries to get ahead of it. That doesn't quite go the way she's planned. I think hit by a recon, and now has to run and dodge away down A long. Meanwhile, we've got pressure now going straight into the B side. Fluorescent wants to get in here behind this relay bolt, but Vanya was unaffected by it. And there's a double face here. Right click, Mimi from behind Vanya's also able to find Floor. And SR down to 3.
G2 can take things slow, but Amy adventurous, too much so. At least ResQ, who pushed out of A fast on the trade, and now G2 need to slow this pace down. Play to the numbers advantage and the utility advantage. With Mimi still alive, they're going to have a fault line to get back in. Vanya, one dark cover as well. ResQ trip forced to be broken. Noya maybe in the perfect position.
Always hearing so much of this Vanya. Unaware, but Noya gives her position away. Oh, she's going to try and pick up the pieces, but Mimi was ready for it now with advanced warning. Mel's got it all to do here in a 1 versus 3. Vanya crumples early. ResQ challenges from the right of the box. And just gets away with their life. G2, counter to the narrative that we heard from Mitchman on the desk, get themselves a pistol on Haven, crucially.
And ResQ starting hot here. Neon has not been her best agent at this tournament. It has been the Jet, which she certainly displayed back on Abyss map 1. This is going to need to be the breakout map for her. Fluorescent has been utterly dominant on the buff to Neon, taking over every single map. It was something that Mimi pointed out as well, the danger for G2 when we head to the Neon-favored maps of Haven, and then if we get to map 3, Sunset after this.
I'm ready. All Neon for the rest of the series, in theory. Key to get, though, their dream opener. Now that we're Shopify Rebellion. Plunge their way into sewer. ResQ's going to be waiting on this, though, with the rifle. Fault line could have been there to be played off, but ResQ wasn't on the line, and a pesky one-way will be put together by Vanya, who has been virtually immovable in so many of these defensive scenarios.
Shopify opting to fall back out of sewer after creating some pressure there, and G2 could certainly be thinking that they've left a player inserted. Perhaps Noya is still there on that Sentinel lurk, but no, it is all of Shopify.
Zug
towards B, just playing to get the spike down. Mimi going to feel the pressure of this horde of players trying to breach into the site. Vanya with a defensive paranoia that will stifle things.
Good. It's perfect, actually. Vanya steps up, given nothing to see. Mel swings while under the effect of the paranoia, and Vanya cuts a bloody swath through SR. ResQ with the cheeky ACL, but that's fine. Round secured for the hometown team.
Not a ton of damage dealt either, so G2 will have a fair bonus buy to try and keep the momentum going. Get that Katamari ball rolling, head towards the ultimates, get the economy boosted. What a way to open this up for them. They needed a strong start on Haven.
Let's go!
After that incredibly grueling game on Abyss.
Right there. I just love the util put together, the stall util from Vanya, followed up by the paranoia, man. Very clean. Very textbook.
ResQ, the best weapon on the battlefield for G2, has that Vandal and is pressed up in sewer, trying to take an early engagement.
She's a weapon herself.
Early advantage, yeah.
3-0 for her.
Interesting for Mimi. Going forward, tucking into the cubby towards B. You know, unorthodox for a role player on this team.
Still flash for Amy to play off though. That corner. Just a sheriff to hand for her.
Rescue right now pushed up all the way in sewer, allowing the rest of G2 just to stack elsewhere. Noya maybe walking into a trap.
Cam is watching C, so not relevant here. Mimi just caught by that one. Noya can fall back behind a cyber cage and get all the info that she needs. Petra, oh, now they know. Now they know the rescue has gotten up behind them, making no shortage of noise there through mid-window, and is just not aware that Noya might be lingering.
I want to see if G2 maybe try to pick Noya off, or do they fight the site right now when it's more of a 3v3?
A lot for Amy to look at here. Big pings though, as Amy's going to be forced away by the relay bolt. Aftershock as well to keep her at bay for now. Petra gets into the side from the back, and Vanya with a bucky cleans Alexis up. Vanoia has the timing, she snuck up through mid, and that's her third for the round. 3v2. Vanya wants to challenge this, and my goodness, she just don't miss. What a shocky though from Sarah. Vanya too low to withstand that, and now 2v1, it's clean as it gets for Sarah Cat. Clean behind the ears.
Really all about Noya's play in that round, though. Sniffing out Mimi in the forward position, tucked into Cubby, and the swing from Petra to try and trade was just a little bit too late. Survived when that cyber cage had been thrown down. Catches out Rescue as well. And then that late wrap. Really well played, and Noya already topping the board for SR 6-3.
Something I've noticed a little bit already. Rescue is not ready for Noya, who's playing a little bit slower, I think, than she's otherwise anticipating. Been caught twice by her now.
So fast from G2. Rescue is playing fierce at the moment. This stun could be huge, but just knows that it would be far too risky to go for an aggro play there. Fluorescent is in so deep.
She doesn't stop. She won't be halted. Rescue tries to throw up, I think, a fast lane there to obscure her position, and it's beautiful. What a snap on Alexis. Now it's Noya and Sarah. They have to put it together. Sarah inside that dark cover, looking to follow up in a great last round, and Noya can only get the one. G2 with 3.
That is the rescue we've been waiting to arrive at the tournament. Drops 20 plus on map 1. Making plays like that happen on the Neon, the agent where she has struggled the most in her duelist pool at GCC. Coming to life. Look at the speed on the flick there. Alexis already in the dark cover and just couldn't react.
After a loss on Abyss, she's already feeling herself. She's playing with such aggression on this A side.
And due to the damage that was done on the prior round, Vanya finding a lot of those kills over on that C engagement, SR had lost enough weapons that they were fully invested, lose, and are now on the eco.
3 defense side rounds for G2. That's spectacular here. After the first 4. And SR mostly grouped up again. It will be Noya holding back.
Mimi has been getting really active on this defense so far. Vanya first engagement, trying to spray through that relay bolt. It's perfect, and the range is just not good with the shotgun. SR, how do they find 2 openings? Amy has to stabilize.
In a good position to do so, in fairness. The paranoia misses her now. She can just shoot heads. What a flick! What an adjustment for Amy. Noya dragging herself into this to give up the ace to Amy. G2 lock it down.
That is why Amy is the foundation of G2. Ever present on this Haven defense. We had seen this earlier in the tournament. She was the one dragging G2 through the game against Crew. It would have been a blowout if not for her. Her play on C is so solid. Shot on the floor, the adjustment, and then, oh my god, it is just
The numbers are so good though for Shopify Rebellion. They're in a 5v3. Amy is literally 1v4 on the side.
That crosshair placement is picture perfect. So ready for that final swing.
That is so unreasonable.
I mean,
I'm sorry. They can't have
beyond unreasonable. SR, they were gifted 2 kills. That was such an awkward scenario for G2 with the relay bolt connecting onto Vanya, Rescue. I believe they just had to judge, but were fighting at mid-range, so they were cooked. I mean, G2 had just gifted them 2 nice little rifles, and oh my god.
It was a nasty relay bolt there from Flora. I think that may have hit both G2 players. Vanya tried to spray, and she... Well, the stars aligned a different way. She could have found a lot of damage from that position, but
yeah, it
doesn't matter.
Rare micro mistake from Vanya, but yeah, ultimately irrelevant. G2 Gozen are here to play.
And you shoot the head good, and it doesn't matter if you've made a couple slip-ups along the way.
It's nice when you're up 4-1, and Petra hasn't even really had a need to be in the action so far. That's when you know G2 are in rare form.
4 out of 5 in the first. All of these defense rounds so big for G2.
The timeout has been taken before what could just be an explosive round 6, factoring in the number of ultimates that are in play. SR have the Hunter's Fury to work with.
Overdrives for both Neons.
That's a nice little combo to catch out a player that may even be positioned really far back for the defenders, getting in their face with the overdrive while you're hitting them with the Hunter's Fury from Sarah. B-site is vacant.
Oh!
I will exploit that. Floor in real danger as the spike goes down.
The trip is way deeper than Shopify expect. Floor gets snarled up in it and gets taken down to 5. No point going for the ultimate here.
And it's just abandoned in the site. If Floor can even get 1 here, that's more than enough from her.
She's a ward, basically. Dropped here. Left embedded. Mimi, oh, you can't be serious! Floor is getting it all! Gets the one, a bit of damage as well in the second. Rescue eventually makes that flank play, but Neuer's now really in tune with that timing. Petra pushes up, aggressive, but is shut down by Mel. Vanya over the top. Neuer cannot see her right now. It's going to be a Hunter's Fury to try and stop this defuse. Amy thought to stick it. She gets it a half. That's going to be enough, but it's time on their side. Neuer catches Vanya. Now plunge into the smoke. It's Amy dealing with her.
She might just have it.
Oh, Sarah, what a shock.
Just at the final moment, enough delay from that Hunter's Fury as well. Down to the wire is a goddamn understatement.
Just hear Mimi in the background. Yes, SR like to play for these cringe post plants.
So cringe.
With all the
so
spam, all the
cringe. Oh, that is a tragic way to start, by the way. In the midst of everything that happened after.
That neural theft ping was everything.
0.23. Shock comes in. Oh my god, so much damage dealt. We're still in the economic danger zone for Shopify. Rescue with the overdrive. So deep into sea, chasing, hunting down Neuer.
Mimi here knows she's about to see it all. Alexis not ready for that. Mimi gets a lot of damage as they're able to fall off this rescue. Nero side to the rescue, gets it on the side. Alexis dealt with inside that dark cover, but Sarah emerges and Floor is there as well. Singer, Sheriff, Vandal all need to go to work here with surgical precision for G2.
Scared for Sarah there for a moment. Susceptible to a shock. Dark Floor is so close up with the Bucky, but is forced back because of that Silver Jordan. Has to reposition to default now.
Laurie's lit. This is a little bit awkward. She was hoping to take a post-plant position as well, but now she hides in the smoke. Here's the spray. Floor takes a hit, but they're not convinced anyone's in here. Petra Shocky licks in the feet of Fluorescent, and there's a finish off at Mel. Of course, in the post-plant setup's able to deal with Amy.
Oh my god, they're sending the Hunter's Fury.
Is there going to be a catch? Vanya looking to get it to half. Neuer in a great spot to disrupt this. And there it is. The planters, the defuse as well is taken down. And SR climb back to 3.
A crucial rewrap from Neuer, getting out C-Long and then back into Garage to punish Petra out of the Hunter's Fury. Sarah was susceptible to just getting one-shotted by that in-long, was so low on HP in that situation.
Neuer seems to have taken upon herself as well to be shutting Rescue down whenever possible on these aggressive flank timings. And again, it's Sarah who interrupts the defuse once more.
Sarah had a sickening shot onto Rescue mid-overdrive, by the way, to halt that ultimate that was getting value. Already into this, though, the operator's been picked up by the Neon, but is just punished, strolling out of the dark cover. Petra, I mean, how is she getting away with that? Needs to fall back, needs assistance, but is just stuck here alone.
She gets the one, that's not bad, but she's forced to anchor this now. Much like Floor in the previous round. She will actually be allowed to get out. Through this attack side of dark cover, SR are waiting for a moment here, a bit of a syncopation.
And it was the right decision to get out. Mimi has the Rolling Thunder here. They can play to the retake right now. They have the superior utility. This gets this down though. Rolling Thunder of Shopify's own to counter G2 on the entry.
And it's set up for a Rolling Thunder. Spike out in the open here. Perfect for Mel to capitalize on here from A-Main. But Mimi has one of her own, Wyatt. Both Breach ultimates are online. This is about to get a little bit hectic. Here we go. A lot of tectonic activity over on the A site.
High magnitude, but Amy is going to try and set up in heaven, take a brief shot before the dark cover blooms, but Mel gets rid of Petra first.
And G2 now, they are feeling the pressure of the clock. They know there's no chance of getting back in. Alexis just had far too much utility for the stall. Ultimates exchanged, but when the spike is down, obviously that is just a trade in the favor of Shopify. They're able to lock up the round because of that, and after a relentless start from G2, the score has tied at 4-4.
They've called these rounds back. It was a very slow start. SR only winning one of the first 4 rounds. Now stringing them together. G2's economy at a point where they can now start to make a grab for an extension of their lead.
Rescue invested so much into the op on the last round and
push out of that smoke. Ill-fated.
Instant punish. Went down. Here at G2 early, again playing towards A lobby.
Odd buy here, Wyatt.
Very odd. This comp obviously excels with controlling that area of the map when you have that breach and the utility to work with, that standard dark cover for control placed by Vanya as well.
Noya is determined to be Rescue's sleep paralysis team in this game.
Gotta go!
Using everything at her disposal to slow this Neon down.
Slow from SR. Prodding towards C. Looking to explore back into mid, perhaps. Tommy's camera's broken. Oh my god, the triple spam, that does
a bit of damage.
Yeah, a decent amount. Floor dropped to half. Noya basically with a light armor.
They are looking to make some things happen here defensively without exposing themselves to too much risk.
Yeah, without an overcommittal. That's something they never really fall susceptible to. G2 are quite a patient team.
Mimi is actually stuck on the B side here with a fault line. Maybe she used it to get in. They're going to be fighting for it, but relay bolt from Floor connects. Amy going to try and get in as the spike's being planted. She's found 2 quick kills. Alexis has to try and find a way to get out of this sticky situation. And Sarah's going to be brought down. It's just Noya. We are in a post-plant here, but there's a lot to ask from your Cypher player. And they're lit. Neural Theft comes out. Noya almost makes it 3. Just pulling up short.
That was some sick precision with the Phantom from Noya. Amy so fast into the site though with the Vandal. Remains the rock of G2, finding that timing window to take a couple 1v1s in succession, winning them out while Alexis was trying to get the spike down, wasn't swinging onto her. Kill onto Mel, so crucial. Then they double face Alexis. The flood onto the site was executed to perfection. G2 looking so much stronger on this map than they did earlier in the tournament. They've leveled up. This is Shopify's home, and they are testing them on it.
Someone needs to tell Tyson to lock in. Shopify need the energy here. Fluorescent at the 4 here. Petra not willing to give up that corner entirely. Mimi would cover her either way.
That is forced to stall for Shopify.
Oh,
Petra
just a raw swing?
Oh yeah, not off a flash even from Mimi. No audio cue from SR. Risky, reckless, shut down, and
Petra's duelist instincts can't be quenched, I guess.
How often they can't. This was honestly one of the issues that G2 were having in their game against Crew. Petra was going for far too much on A when, often it's the role of the Sova to just play that site for retake, not take risks.
Lost a whole lot of key utility now.
Yeah, this situation was obviously a little different. She had teammates there, but so caught. Oh, and Vanya is in trouble off that neural theft. She's going to have to pop off right now. Dodge the flash, does get 1, almost 2.
Always Vanya getting some unreasonable value out of those situations. It hasn't really slowed up SR too much though. They are here onto the site. We're going to have 2 coming in from CT3, in fact, for G2. Fast lane going to be thrown up. They're going to get about it quickly. Rescue flattens Mel. She cartwheels into the wall. Alexis steps up, though. Now she's getting involved in the fragging, and Sarah goes for the Hunter's Fury. Mimi down to a paltry 70 points of health, and Noya is on the rewrap, as she always seems to be. It's a matter of time. She's lurking, and she cleans up G2.
Always on that backstab. Her positioning has been so good. Her timings have been at the exact moment where G2 just typically have no actual chance of paying attention to her. She's just getting free kills, right? I like that G2 still tried to get in as the spike was being tapped there. It was their best opportunity when there was, that kind of faux 3 versus 3 that Rescue was able to slide in.
Alexis really wanted to get into the game there, why?
And what a time to do it. It was the round that broke the economy of G2. gets her first couple kills, and it was in a situation where if she had just gone down, that round might have been over.
Yeah, G2 ready to flood there from CT spawn. So now, economically speaking, we actually have a round finally where G2 are fully without the capacity to bring rifles in. Remember, they win what I would call a thrifty round with, I think, 3 Vandals, 2 or 3 Vandals and Sheriffs. That ridiculous Amy push onto the site whilst the plant was going down on B. What's the plan now for G2 goes in?
Yeah, going to take a peek at the ultimates when we get back into this. I mean, right now I'm just looking at the scoreboard where the Cypher on either side is topping it for their respective teams. And this is just the danger of this iteration of Shopify right now. Noya has leveled up in the past several months.
Purely presidential showing here.
13 for 7, the backstabs have all worked. G2 have not had the read on how to shut her down.
We are tied up here, heading into the 11th round. Just a Guardian for Vanya. She's holding that on B.
Looks like G2, they do want to go for this fast pressure. A main, once again, Rescue is up close, spamming through the cage off the dark cover place from Vanya, and a mid push.
Vanya, of course, with the key weapon here, but Mel seems to have sniffed this out. There's a lot of angles, though, to expect some aggression. Paranoia's going to shut down the Guardian player for the time being. Oh, my goodness, Floor just Geronimo over the windowsill. And that was over almost before it started. Rescue here is the trip that she has to contend with now, and meanwhile, the Spike is in a different postcode.
Can jump over it, win this maybe, but just no way she's going to be ready for Fluorescent in that off angle. Rescue would have to do something insane. She's been in good form so far on the Neon into the relay bolt.
Go, go, go.
So I'm not sure that she's in this. She's going to go for it. Yep, get it over with, see if she can make something happen. SR finally get into the lead.
Not expecting that double up in the cubby. G2 invest a lot into that out of the timeout. A strat called by the coaches. Investing.
Got a Guardian.
Yep. Hunter's Fury went in, did a ton of damage. They were so close, truthfully. With a couple Shopify players at like, what, sub 70 HP. They were in the real danger zone. You know, Amy swinging out with the Ghost, got the headshot, but just not enough.
I mean, Mel was jump scared. Floor just ran past her and belly flopped onto G2 in mid.
We've got the last round of the half Rescue here, feeling the pressure. Aftershock has to use that fast lane just to evade the bullets.
U2 cover on the side, it's been good. Floor with the overdrive now active. Amy looking to come out there, emerge from Garage at the right time, but Mel is ready for it. Look at this, SR canvassing this Seaside in its entirety. Floor going forward, Rescue going to be brought down, but Vanya always good for one. Here comes the rolling thunder though, and Alexis can capitalize on the fact that Mimi couldn't quite get out, but she does escape. TP here to see long for Vanya. She cancelled it to make sure there's no post-plant positioning get taken up by SR.
Deploying drone.
Petra sending out the recon, trying to get any amount of information, maybe cause a distraction for Vanya to get in. They are separated.
Petra and Vanya in the 2 versus 3. Petra trying to draw someone out here. Gonna play off this. Oh, she's so clever! Oh, it's all too easy! You can't be getting away with that! She just dangles the catnip in front of SR and they go for it. Hook, line, and sinker!
I mean, that is a comedic outplay if I've ever seen one.
That is
my God.
Okay, that should not be legal in EU.
When you're too locked in and you're just tracking the dart ready to break it, that little bounce. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. It has been a half
I'm stunned, man.
of Valorant.
I'm stunned.
Ridiculous. Okay, we've got to break. We'll come back with more of Haven, and I'm going to find my balance again. See you in a second.
And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good, I just feel so good, I just feel so good.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Need hosting that's speedy and simple to set up? Our security plan options could keep your online
But the G2 goes and lose their map pick. Abyss in overtime. The doubt, the worry, the fear starts to creep in. But they put together a great defensive side on Haven. They get to 6 rounds, complete with everything you could ask for, including the heist of the century from Petra in that round 12. We are even coming out of the break, Wyatt.
And frankly, I was afraid for them on this map. They've only played it once in this tournament so far. It was the very first map that they played. It was against Crew, and they really struggled. If we didn't see a level up, it felt doomed. This is Shopify's go-to. It's been their go-to whenever it is in the map pool. And G2, they've stood up to the test. They have been quality on defense. They have to be even better on attack to close this out, to get to the decider of Sunset.
Noya watches her sandcastle get kicked. That trip is cleared out of the way. G2, for the time being, seem happy enough with that. They have a trip as well inside window, interestingly enough. Lest Floor gets a little aggressive.
Maybe gets on a forward cam placed towards Garage. Getting information if there's some kind of deep mid push from Shopify. Not the case, though. Got a simple setup towards B, where that fault line is ready to go out from Alexis back site if the pressure comes there, and then Floor can fight off of it. And Sarah's duty here is simply to get information, get out, and we'll play A for retake.
Well, I think that's pretty illuminating, don't you? 3, 4 people spotted by that recon bolt. Yeah, G2 knows this is going to pull a big rotation, so they say, oh, we need to be elsewhere here.
They said, never mind. I mean, speak of a big rotation, that is all of Shopify vacating the C region of the map. Amy immediately says, let me go through Garage, and we're just trying to get back in fast. It's a flood from Shopify.
Hey, they're in the back of the site here, ready to fight. Relay bolts, though, going to be connecting. Vanya get to emerge, but Petra's already gotten herself onto the board and rescues in the back corner of the site. It's a massacre! It's just Sarah left standing, and Amy finds her third and puts her down.
And the G2 don't win pistol round allegations. Defeated. They're gone. It's done. It's a wrap. They are winning pistols today. Heads up from Amy as soon as there was that call of the Shopify rotation coming in when that recon connected. She knew it was time to start getting some space of her own. Begins to clear out Garage so the G2 rotate can get in. SR are so happy to fight for these floods, and often it's Noya actually kind of getting back in first, and then the rest of the team follow up if it's her site, right? They are confident in those situations, and G2, they fought them at the choke.
This is Haven working against you. SR see everything over at A. They fall into the trap of rotating into it, as you probably would. Tough map to cover, you're spread thin. And speaking of which, SR opt not to do that this round. They're stacked on A. Just the president over at the C side.
Just a slow contact up C long. G2 certainly intending on finishing on that side, at least for now. They're going to draw back and play a bit slower. Touched on it prior, but G2 certainly compared to the field, one of the teams on attack that like to really take their time, get information piece by piece, deal with utility here and there. Amy getting a little bit more aggressive though. She's the one player with just the Ghost. Cypher takes a bit more, or some more liberties in a situation like this, and punishes Noya.
Yeah, finds the timing beautifully there as Noya tries to react to the fault line. So what we should expect to see in a situation like this is SR grouping up towards their spawn, just close enough, of course, to perish to the spike blast. Floor may have other ideas here, just in case someone is pushed ahead of it.
Did invest into the Sheriff as Floor, so
that is true.
Wants to try and at least claim one.
Let's see. Trip there, Amy on the corner. Okay, that's that Sheriff now knocked loose. The rest of SR, if you are in the venue, you probably see them hoping to discuss a little bit what the next round should look like for them. Might simply want to punish a push up like this from Amy. Fault line. She deftly dodges it. And at least gets something for it, but
gymnastics.
And there's a number of orbs just handed over.
Little cartwheel to the left. Finds another. Why not?
Do-si-do. And there it is. Mel will 360 her way out of the round.
When you're that Ghost player, you take your liberties. You go for some fights on the Cypher. Why not? And then you're going to
neural theft available.
Buy something else into this round. Yeah, that's a great ult to have early. It's used at the right moment. Turn the round in your favor.
Amy.
Great move.
Amy.
Padding the stats a little bit. 18 and 10 now for Amy. Not too bad. Picks up the Guardian now. fair bonus buy for G2.
G2 just trying to keep it calm here. It's been a pretty competitive game so far.
Scanning ahead.
Really want to keep the energy ready when they need it.
That's Shopify looking to get proactive towards A. Paranoia comes out a bit late. Mel really wants to fight forward. The res Qs. Guardians along.
Hey, very low. Mel sees it coming, catches her out.
Yeah, that's G2 just over-committing a bit, but they are on a fast pivot to C. They'll have to deal with Noya. We'll see if SR can get in position to flood this or if they just play for the full retake, the safer option of the two.
Play off the kill trip, I think, here. There is one at the back of the site. Petra's trying to clear it, though. It is still there. Amy gets picked up here. She tried to get into window by the looks of things.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit too fast.
Was well watched by the rest of SR. Ooh, Petra misses the first shot. Floor now in a position to do some real damage. Mimi pretty exposed on the site now as Nohit just always seems to find a rewrap. And Mimi holding her ground though. These weaker weapons for G2 though will let them down. SR shut the bonus down.
And G2 not dealing any significant damage to SR either, so Shopify walk away from this about as clean as it can possibly get. G2's economy, obviously, though, still very strong after retaining all of those weapons in their bonus round. They came into this with about 3K apiece. Amy tries to recreate what Noya was able to find success with so often on Shopify's attacking half, which are those post-plant flanks.
For Noya, it's a matter of being able to fall off that site into a retake position without getting caught, something she wasn't able to do on the pistol this time, though. She falls off and then re-wraps through Garage. Always so active.
G2 are again focused. Hey, well, all right, decent way to open a round, I suppose. Just a little auto aim.
Petra taking the fight.
Someone needs to inspect the mouse, the hardware, the software.
Do check her PC. Peripherals. Reaction time.
May make Amy feel like she needs to do something more proactive to reduce the deficit.
She's trying to cause a bit of a ruckus through B. She's actually in on the B side. So we'll see how that goes. Yep, okay, winning out against Sarah now. Might have opened a door here for G2. Vanya deals with Mel. Rescue pushing up, but she's got support this time. And Alexis needs to hold it down. Ooh, not bad. Mimi really unaffected by that. Now we have a 2 versus 2 set up for his floor into heaven. It's well and truly smoked out though.
Mimi is playing so aggro. G2 activate across the map. So much utility here from Mimi. Keep your eyes on that.
Or this is awkward now. She has to play across in heaven. Oh, you're not ready for that! Rescue flattened. Floor now can fall back as Noya takes a moment to emerge onto the side. That is so hard to retake. It's Haven. You're in a 2v2. You're locked out of the site by smokes. Unreal.
And Mimi with a wealth of utility to offer up, but just doesn't matter when Floor goes for that jump peek, instant headshot. I loved how prior in the round G2 really activated this fast timing. Amy, I think, oddly, uncharacteristically, forcing things in that round. She found the first, which, you know, at that point, they're at a disadvantage. They want to go for something. That's understandable. But she can fall off after finding that kill. Retreats to her teammates on A, goes for more, and is traded out. Unfortunate. G2 put themselves in a great position to win the round, and now they're forced onto the eco.
Indulge me for a moment, Wyatt, as I just appreciate how competitive this series has been. This map, no exception. Into round 17, it is a tied game, but G2 are lacking in terms of arsenal. Right floor. Petra ready for that, though.
Testing G2's reaction time, peeking out of doors in mid. Falls back.
Right here.
Holds it more. A safe position.
Pings here for SR. Because they're dark cover, they don't know if someone's been embedded on the right side of that doorway from Mel's perspective. Doesn't want to get caught with util in hand here. Floor falls off that line and will allow Amy, again, who has been so proactive, to explore into Garage. Petra's in deep trouble here, though, just doesn't have the weapon to get herself out alive, and Alexis is more than happy to face down. Rescue and Amy get something done. And then Amy kills over at B again. She's always able to find something here.
Amy picks someone off on this rotate. Obviously, she's getting a ton of information. She hears all of the footsteps headed towards spawn.
She's in the walls.
She is ready for this. Amy is looking to plant on.
Hunter's Fury here.
Sid, no way does Amy catch Sarah right now. Mid, oh no, she's going to do it. It's a free kill.
30 seconds left.
All right, Amy brings Sarah down. It was a fake over at B that draws out the Hunter's Fury. And in come Shopify Rebellion. Again, have to win a 2 versus 2 retake on the A side. Amy looking towards Sewer. Mimi's very, very low on the side here. It's a fault line over towards Heaven as that trip stops Alexis from getting into the site so far. They need to get rid of it, and we'll try and explode with Floor from behind it. Amy now is ready. They know where to be looking. Here's the fast lane. Floor is in the side now. Mimi trying to go around the left-hand side on the box, but Alexis brings her down. Amy's in a 1 versus 2 here. Shopify Rebellion. Have an ultimate even to play off of here, but it's going to be Floor who tries to go for it. It's not to half yet, and Amy saves them again! Time and time again! Emerging in the clutch, 4 kills on the round. By the way, it's supposed to be safe for G2.
A light little 23 on the board, has been getting so active on this attacking side. To her own detriment on the prior round, immediate redemption. Shopify got completely scrambled in the communication there. After that fake tap from Mimi, they completely misunderstood the situation, threw them off entirely. Hunter's Fury gets triggered. Sarah thought that Amy could be coming from B. You saw her crosshair was ready for that potential push earlier, then felt like no, they just went elsewhere together, surely, right? Well, they were together, but they were pathing back to A the entire time. Absolutely melted their minds on the rotate.
Amy has a soul read on Shopify Rebellion right now. These attack side lurks have been so unpredictable. Noya, when she was on the attack side, was playing very differently, really wanting just to keep Rescue at bay, sit back, punish like these push-ups from the enemy Neon.
Yeah, her lurking was a lot more, when she was lurking, when she took action, it was delayed. Amy, there is no delay right now.
She's going for it.
She is going for everything.
And it's the timing of that that seems to be causing Shopify a lot of issues.
And in some of these situations, I mean, brother, why not? She is 23 and 12. After she got that 4K a few rounds in, she said, "Now time to fight everybody. I'm on point."
There's that X factor here, Wyatt. Game. So SR now down to a couple of sheriffs. They do have the hero rifle for Floor. Pop here from mid again. Gonna be a trade. Floor gets the 1. Okay, this will be a 2 for 2 here.
Not bad when you're coming into the round with no real weapons to speak of. There was that one Vandal, sure. And G2 crossing the T's, dotting their I's, just cycling weapons off the map right now. In case Shopify go for them later into the round, if there's some kind of retake situation in our future.
See, SR really racking their brains to try and give themselves some semblance of a stack at an important site. Mel might be caught off the timing here. Yep, Mimi finds a third.
Just wants to get info more actively, shut down for it. Walks into the stack. SR, they do have a crossfire here if G2 try to force B, but they don't. They slow things down again.
This is so good. Noya wins it out somehow. And she sees a spike go loose. No time for neural theft on that corpse, by the way. Too far away from it.
That is really tough for Mimi. Just can't be losing that.
If Noya's allowed to get in a rewrap position, yep, there's a neural theft coming through now. G2's plans will be laid bare. And SR know it's at C.
There is some counter info there, though. At the very least, G2 know they can get into C, right? No bodies there, so they're getting into the site. Noya right now, though. Amy totally unaware.
Oh, Amy!
No!
Into it, what?
Forced off by the aftershock. Tried to go for safety, but landed in the jaws of Noya. Oh, no. No.
Talk about buy one, get one free. Wow, these two teams drifting each other back and forth.
And the air has been sucked out of the room, at least temporarily.
Let's look at how this goes down. So,
stealing that away.
Early defensive pop. Noya just with an unreasonable fight there against Mimi. Sees a spike go down and... Oh, come on. I do not think that is remotely reasonable, personally, but here we are. 9 apiece here heading into round 19. Rolling Thunder up for both sides. Guns, though, looking pretty stinky for G2.
He's got that rifle. We'll see if it ends up being heroic or if she just can't extract any value from it. Let's take this engagement. Oh, wow, and does win that against Floor with the Outlaw in hands.
Lived long enough to become the hero, apparently. Rescued Liv by that one, though. Alexis able to swoop in. Snap up her. Pretty straightforward kill. Nick HBR Mel is, she is actually, dropping down, gets one, okay. Here's the neural theft. Amy's built a lot of those, and Noya, no! It all goes wrong for finding it 2 rounds in a row. How frustrating. GT still have 2 players to work with, and Hunter's Fury in a post plant. It's going to be a Rolling Thunder, though, that's going to stop a plant from going down. Amy's caught out in the open, reeling now as Alexis waits. She'll actually take the swing. Forces the shot from Amy, but Alexis has no backup. Had to win that, and she stands tall. Petra's got to cross a lot of map to get towards the spike, and Alexis gets a 3K round. The last 2 rounds have been ridiculous.
Oh, things are getting messy. Perhaps the nerves of this situation becoming a factor. That should have been so free. That would have been a rifle recovered. The site wide open. Mel took a risk there dropping down. Vanya was just so certain that was going to be a headshot. And it connected to the shoulder. Alexis wins with that pre-fire jiggle swing. Oh, Mimi looks stunned on cam.
It's getting a bit muddy, Wyatt, I'm going to be honest with you. All right, we're trying to do it here.
What the hell?
Floor has a quick push out. She also used the relay bolt to set up that pick onto rescue. Explosion there from SR leaves G2 wondering now how to fill the gaps.
That floor just slips right out of there as fast as she got into bottom mid. Mental speed, Amy now. We'll see if she tries to get as proactive as she's been in these man-down situations. On the previous round, she really tried to go forward and find a duel to take. But Noya has played this site very passively. It's just about retake here on A for Shopify.
Yeah, it's all about maintaining the backside of the A side behind those trips, so cam is cleared.
And Amy is pre-firing heaven there because often when it is just the solo side for on A, they will be in heaven in a cam.
Okay. I don't know if SR want to be forced into a retake here. They are setting up. Trip on the left side of the side is actually still there, but Floor's gone down here. Oh, Petra revealed as she tries to go for the plant. They also have a good idea where Vanya is right now. Amy and Link. Cybercade's thrown up, but she doesn't opt to pass through it. She would have been seen by Alexis had she done so. And there's a rolling thunder here for this post-plant attempt. Thrown out over towards that Link side here. And Amy wants to capitalize, but the paranoia is going to stop her in her tracks. She still wants to play close off that cam. TP from Vanya now into Hell to make sure she can't be picked off. SR have got to make this happen. 3 players set up in heaven. They might look to flood from this spot. Aftershot's going to force them out here. Tag on Zero. She drops here. Vanya has to receive, and she does. Mimi locks it down. And it's up to Mel to step up, but this is an ill-fated retake attempt if I've ever seen one. She'll be brought to heel, and G2 get a crucial round back.
It seems like any G2 player that makes a mistake, they're ready for redemption the very next round. Vanya with the perfect 2-piece while they were flooding out of that window. Mimi instant swing from Sewer to pick off the third, and all the while Amy was ready for any player to try to enter through main. 3 versus 4, but they make it look oh so easy. Out of that, Effie's calling the timeout for SR as we head into a pivotal round for the North American side. It's their entire economy on the line.
And we've seen G2 go back to a little bit more of a simpler approach there, Wyatt, right? Amy's just determined to ask for a little bit more. As she explores that A site on her own, when she gets the Cypher camera, she says, you know what? They're not on the site. They're not anchoring here. We are going to force them into a retake. We've got all our util still. Mimi sitting there by Sewer, ready to cover any sort of positioning from heaven. And again, it's the same woes that so many defensive sides face on this map. Retaking A is a nightmare.
And it's Fluorescent there just straying a little bit far forward, but not even to the extent where you would say she's seriously overextending. It's just running into an Amy that is going to press the issue on every round right now. That is something that Shopify are going to just really need to be keenly aware of as we get into the very end of this game. She is exploiting the holes that she's finding in their defensive setups, finding the important picks. 26 kills. This is just been a game of ciphers.
We're in an econ danger zone here for SR as well. So a bit of an inflection point now in the later part of this regulation. It's one round that might be worth 2 here.
We're going to have a big clash in A main. Fault line ready to go from Alexis as Fluorescent pushes up long standard recon to recover all of that regular control utility coming out from the defenders. She's going to be forced to re-clear at some point if they want to head back into the A side.
And honestly, a lot of the extremities of the map have been taken over. Mel's pushed up deep on C side behind that camera of Noya she can play off of.
A lot of work to be done for G2 in regard to the map control game. Headed towards Garage, breaking the trip there would certainly be a start as the drone clears things out.
Mel has a TP to play with here. Great for info or to reinforce a site that does get pressured.
Daniel wants to find that camera, but unaware that it's positioned so far and long, as you mentioned, gaining some very crucial information for Shopify to control their rotates.
Petra really does not try to do too much on that C side. Checks it briefly. Floor's about to get busy. No coverage inside Sui here. Turns the flash and in comes Rescue. Exposes herself immediately to Floor, who now looks to reposition and takes down Amy. That's not exactly what G2 are looking for on the A side. Now they're opted to go over towards Garage. Vanya has gotten deep though.
Garage is the only place that they know is really open.
Noya opts to play on the site. She's under deep threat, of course, towards spawn side. Floor doesn't check. Bam! Petra's ready for it. Elsewhere, Alexis also fell. That was over on the B side here, so G2 aren't in there.
They've been able to pivot. This is a wonderful call from Mimi. Spike is going to go down. The plant position is a little bit awkward. No natural place to spam it.
Sarah also on a late wrap here. Through mid. Crowd getting loud for the home team here. This is one round that could be worth 2 for G2.
At this point, it's just about duels and crossfires. Mimi wins the first.
Mel feels like she's going to go for a TP onto the boxes here. She's in with the paranoia, but they don't know she's there yet. She's inside the dark cover. Sarah trying to help her out with some vision on the side, but Petra's going to bring it down. Lit by the recon, but it's up to Sarah here to try and dig her out of that corner. The shocks just aren't going to cut it. Eventually, she swings out and falls. Sarah's only got 6 in the chamber. 6 bullets.
Concentrate, Sova.
And not a lot of time to work with here. Mimi gets ahead of it. And G2 get to 11.
And that was a masterful rotate at the very end. They had no control of the map, but exploited what they did have access to, which was Garage. It was Vanya finding that pick, and SR over-rotating, thinking that they were going to be headed through Garage to C, but Petra took a risk not being with her teammates to some extent, but it did pay off. Catching Floor completely unaware and setting up in the site together, forcing Shopify onto the eco, as you said, a round worth 2.
Yep, to avoid the overtime.
Well, this could get very dangerous for G2. There are many Shopify players ready to go, stacked up on C.
Okay, fault line, they're going to go for it here. The relay bolt thrown out defensively there by Rescue slows up SR, reveals the plans to G2. They're going to force the issue wide. They're going to go for it. Floor pushes out. Petra set on the corner. Brought down. That's one. Elsewhere, though, what are SR doing? They're all grouped up here. Their eggs are in this basket outside of a paltry minimum presence over at the B side.
Is Rescue really going to stay? Okay, she does hear the rest of SR falling back. This is dangerous. Faces a drone.
Sarah also thinks to double back. She does have that Hunter's Fury.
And in the meantime, G2, Vanya, they've placed the dark covers over onto this A site. The camera is broken. They'll have to deal with one more trip, but the spike should go down. Still superior weaponry, but down in numbers.
Quartet of SR now rotating back to their spawn. Full retake. It's not what they want to have to do on this map, but they've got no choice now. Mel has TP as well.
And for G2, Mimi has her entire kit ready to go to stifle this retake effort.
And there's not much time here. SR have gotten to the site pretty late. At some point, they're going to have to throw caution to the wind and go for it. It's going to be an overdrive here, getting popped by Rescue now, holding the door, but Mel's found Mimi already. Hunter's Fury coming into the site. Mel gets there, sees the TP from Vanya and looking for another target. It's Rescue fighting 2 with the overdrive. 3! What can't she do? They're all burning down and a clean ace for Rescue. Apparently, lightning strikes 5 times.
Out of nowhere, we called on Rescue at the very top of this map that she needed to step up. The Neon has been where she's had struggles in this tournament. Overdrive popped to rescue this round that SR had no reason to try to really win. I mean, horrendous buy into it. They committed ultimates. You can see what this means to everybody rooting for G2, from the fans to the coaches. My God, SR on the full buy now to catch their breath. They could taste an upset win in that round, and their hopes were dashed away.
Taking us to sunset, which really feels like a coin flip. SR picking Haven, feeling confident. It's a map they've always called upon in times of need. This time it's not a safe haven, hostile territory for them.
Amy is just trying to passively control A while the rest of G2 work towards B. Mimi eyes on Garage as well. Paranoia to entry in. Rescue team punished.
Sarah here ready to receive that. Petra though is just going to squeeze that corner. Get a good amount of damage onto Sarah, but not able to bring it down ultimately. Okay. Plot armor for Sarah. 9 HP and she falls off that line.
Recon now out for Petra as well. That went towards the B link. Doesn't spot anyone out. They tap the spike. They want to see what the reaction from SR will be. A utility extracted now from the defenders as Amy picks up the angle, finds the shot.
Amy just wants to take these fights. Look at her push into this. She's not needed on the spike location, but here comes Floor to try and save the day, and it's up to Mimi. Leader of G2 to try and close the map.
30 seconds left.
Neural Theft, of course, will ping her out and make it clear to SR where she is headed. Camera also to confirm.
This is a nightmare.
Here they come, the cavalry arrives, and SR stay alive on Haven.
Both teams are so willing to fight as a unit against each other in Link. It looked like it was all going so well for G2 when Amy picked up the angle, found that initial kill.
I'm out of here.
Alexis swung. I mean, Sarah getting one at 9 HP as well when that shock. I mean, you said plot armor. Don't know how she survived that shock dart. Looked pretty damn close to me. Looked pretty damn close to me.
Should have been cool.
Do we get OT 2 maps in a row?
G2 have got big ults here, and even Hunter's Fury they can pick up with an orb take here, Wyatt. Both initiator ultimates to end the map. I like those odds.
Fast presence being shown towards C as the one-way is placed from Vanya onto the default box.
There it is.
My ult is ready.
Hunter's Fury.
And now you have both initiator ultimates to work off of as the G2 side to close this map out. They have the advantages that they need. They even have some better weaponry. There's Guardians on the side of Shopify as well. SR look like they're reading this rotate to some extent, though. You have Sarah wandering closer towards A. You still have the setup between Alexis and Fluorescent. The dynamic duo of SR, they are ready on this A site to fight.
God, it's an outside chance, but if Alexis finds 2 kills here, she has a Rolling Thunder of her own.
Look at how deep Noya is inserted on C right now. It's allowing SR to drift elsewhere.
Here they come, Rolling Thunder for the attackers. Rescue stunned up on the fault line, so it won't be the first in, but Amy's more than happy to take these kind of fights. Hunter's Fury from Petra, what a connection. Alexis brought down, that's the opportunity for a breach ultimate for SR taking off the ball. What was that from Sarah? Through the smoke gets her one, that evens up the numbers. Here's the Neural Theft now. They're all going to be lit. Mel playing on the other side of the cyber cage, has to keep moving and drops the spike carrier. It's Floor versus Petra in the 1v1 to force overtime. Spike is out there on the site.
You can't ask for more fiery 1v1 than this. 2 of the best aimers that we've got in the scene.
10 seconds left.
Petra stands up, looking at a deliver, but Floor will take us to overtime on Haven.
It's just not enough time for Petra to work with. Too many angles to clear, and Floor not going to miss a shot like that.
We talk about this.
I mean, there's just no reason in hell that Sarah should be able to get a kill there. Just a tap. Just a tap.
Yes, I find myself in agreement. Lovely fans in the arena.
Oh, Coach Leader just stunned.
I mean,
stunned.
Yeah.
They had the game in their hands. That utility combo of the Recon and the fault line that had both of the anchors for Shopify lit up into the Hunter's Fury. It should have been Raps. Sarah gets one there, maybe, because she's Sarah, because she can hit that crazy shot. There's just no good reason she should be getting 2.
Here comes overtime on a map that's been a cure for hypertension. Sees G2 on the defense side. And Rescue already taking a foray down sewer. Petra sees a lot. She's called this out. She's seen multiple bodies there coming out of lobby.
On Rescue's just eyes on sewer. Petra has been caught in this situation prior, but will back up. There are 3 players from G2 who are ready to fight.
Uncomfortable fault line, Floor's in there. Very aggressive, but Rescue's able to find the foul. Petra, a lovely little swing. And now down to 3 RSR. They're committed to this now. They are 2 feet in. Alexis finds one coming out of sewer. Noya also good for the singular one. And here it is. Another for Noya. Vanya sitting in the back of the site towards Link. She has got to get out. Maybe allow for a plant to go down.
Just wants to link up with Amy. Yeah, that is the timing. That is the moment where they can try to get in. But with the rotation from Amy to Haven, things are going to stall out. Alexis fake taps first to see if they do flood in. Wants to be able to swing for Noya.
She's got to know about Heaven. Alexis very wary of where Amy could be posted up. Bit of early damage. Elsewhere, Vanya needs to get activated. Dark cover thrown at the back of the site. Gonna lock SR in. Amy now knows where both players are, but it doesn't matter because Vanya's not there on the timing she needs. Oh, the Rolling Thunder of all things. It's gonna force Vanya well and truly off the site.
Noya makes a great reposition towards sewer as well. That should lock this round up. This should be unwinnable.
No util left for Vanya. Just pure grit, determination, and gun skill. She's got nothing to see. She can't find Alexis, who just wraps around behind the boxes and finds the timing. Shopify Rebellion have a match point.
And those remaining 2 players, they could just be anywhere. That's impossible for Vanya to win. This series has absolutely lived up to the hype. It deserves 2 back-to-back overtimes. The first one was extended by attack round win after attack round win from both sides. We'll see if that is the same on Haven, if G2 can stay in this in front of the home crowd on home soil.
3 rounds in a row won by Shopify Rebellion. And now on the attack side, G2 need to put their heads together. Much like we saw over on Abyss, these overtime rounds really put the pressure and the stress down on you. Leader, of course, has been very vocal about how stressed he's been feeling sat there in the coaching box, and for good reason. What is the silver bullet for G2 to get them to 13 rounds?
So we've had these 2 teams match up at every GCC, but none of those games have been as close as this one. Either side winning 3 maps together and losing 3. We are dead even in this rivalry between Mel and Alexis, the core of SR, Petra and Mimi, the core of G2 Gozen.
Most iconic players in GCC.
It's been going on for years.
There's certainly a score to settle today.
They always meet in this upper bracket final. SR bested them last year. Can they do it again here? Can G2 just keep clawing back to win the map pick of the NA side? Bring this to sunset.
Off we go. Round 26. G2 will be attacking here. Hoping for some action here over towards Garage, but
I got Spike.
might pull back here over towards Defender Spawn.
Spike thrown over to Rescue, which does imply that they're going to try to go for a fast tap on B. You know, maybe not fully commit. Maybe they just use it to get some utility out of the defense.
Oh!
There's that fast lane. It just immediately caught. No one dealing with the trip.
They tried to. The shock dart was too far forward, I think. Or not enough to the side. It's unclear. Either way, G2 now down to 4. Mel trying to win it out. She gets the better of Petra inside Garage, but it's going to be traded by Vanya. Noya, a little more reluctant about getting involved in the fight. She's happy just to relay these sound cues over to the rest of the team. Sarah now wants to turn the lights on, and Amy goes into the smoke. Surely not a second from Sarah. Would have been unreasonable again. But a player advantage, G2 is short-handed and yet to plant.
And as SR get closer, it's getting more dangerous when Mimi plants this spike.
It's a fake. She gets up off of it. Noya's looking for the right time to emerge here. Floor, oh my goodness, she attracts a lot of attention. And there's Mimi falling for the 2nd year in a row. Shopify Rebellion will advance to a GCC Grand Final.
And for the 2nd year in a row, besting G2 in the exact same part of the bracket in the upper final. And the last year was a 2-1. This one was far closer. Double OT, frankly. Mitch, that's what we deserve from this absolute iconic rivalry. Not just between the 2 teams, between those 2 duos that we mentioned. Mel and Alexis, who've been together since the beginning in Americas. And on the opposite side, Petra and Mimi, same in EU. What a banger. Every player stepped up in crucial moments. Amy went insane for G2 on Haven. Rescue as well on the Neon, stepped up in that game, had her moments.
And what a showing from European expat Noya. Ends the game 25-17. Tasked with trying to keep Rescue quiet, keep her at bay. And that Cypher performance was one you're going to look back on fondly.
This Shopify team is so deadly in their current form. It's an iteration of this team that isn't just the fluorescent show that people try to attribute them as, right? It's also a team that has Noya in the best form she's ever been in. She came into this tournament off of her best run in a regional Game Changers tournament ever, putting up 0.9 kills per round, which is goddamn insane for a Sentinel player, and has continued that now against the best teams globally.
Well, we have gotten everything we could have asked for except for the extra map in this series. Talk about 2 teams leaving it all out there, and the tough news for G2 is they've got to turn around and look towards the lower bracket that features Zipto and MIBR. 2 teams salivating at the thought of an opportunity to fight against them, to make their way into a grand final. SR are going to be looking on, prepared for whoever comes their way.
2 absolute powerhouse teams. And we do live in a reality where there is potential for the G2 versus Brazil lower bracket final. Things are going in the exact same pattern as last year. For the hopeful G2 fans, maybe a different end.
Let's send it down to Yinsu over on the stage for our Verizon post-match interview.
What an incredible series that was. I'm now joined by Sarah here for the post-match interview. Now, first of all, congratulations, another grand finals. It feels like at this point, people expect you to reach there. How does it feel for you to get there and to know that you're kind of fulfilling everyone's expectations here?
Pretty good. I'm definitely excited to go for the two-peat. That was a really fun series, so yeah, it feels pretty good.
And speaking of that series being really fun, it felt like some of the rounds, you know, on that Haven when it was like 8-8, it was crazy. It was so chaotic. How do you guys thrive in this chaos? It feels like you enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of Valorant. That's just how the game is. Definitely, we were a little bit nervous some of those maps, so some of the rounds got away from us. But this game is always going to be chaotic, especially in the current meta with neon sliding everywhere and just insane stuff going on all the time. But yeah, I don't know. We're just used to it. We play a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much do you think your experience as a team kind of help you in these situations? Because it feels like you level up when things get dicey.
I mean, definitely experience helps a lot, especially with getting nerves on stage. I think the first time around in Brazil, maybe we wouldn't have won that series, so.
Now, I gotta ask you, the last time you made the final, you dropped one map on your way there. It was against G2, this time flawlessly. How do you maintain this level of success?
Just a lot of Valorant, a lot of grind. We've scrimmed every day here. We maybe had one off day. So, I mean, we're all exhausted, but we're hoping to get that dub, get the win.
Honestly, at this point, it feels like you're on your way to, definitely, for sure. I wanted to rewind a little bit, starting off with Abyss as well. The comp change, what was the reason behind that?
Yeah, we honestly just felt like, I actually think that the Vice comp is really good on that map, but we kind of felt like we showed it in GC. It's like a little bit anti-stratable. This comp is just really like consistent and easy to play. There's less room for error when you're like nervous on stage. So I think we're glad we changed, but I do think the Vice is really good.
Also, when Floor had her little bit of an oopsie, you know, Effie's was laughing as well. He was saying that he found it quite funny. I saw all of you guys on stage just having fun with it. How do you find the humor in things when things are so intense on stage?
I think we just try our best to have fun, really. At the end of the day, like, we're here to have fun. Playing on stage is really fun. The more fun you have, like, the easier it is to win, the less nervous you are. When we have good vibes, that's usually when we're winning, so.
How good are the vibes? Can you give me an insight?
Pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah, even better than last year as well?
Yeah, I would say so.
Ooh, okay. And lastly, before I let you go, you got to play against someone in the grand finals. There's still 3 teams left. Who do you think is going to make it? Who would you like to face?
Honestly, that series was really fun. I'd like to play G2 again, but also we haven't played MIBR yet, so either way, I'm happy.
All right, thank you very much for joining me. One more time, everybody, for Sarah. All right, Shopify, they have made it to the final. It's time to find out what's going to happen in the lower bracket, so make sure you stay tuned for MIBR versus Zipto.